Next, on America's Day at the Races, we hit the beach in South Florida, where a win in the Fountain of Youth Stakes brings with it a berth in the Kentucky Derby starting gate. He was the most talked about 2-year-old of 2019, brilliant in 2 wins, a bust in 2 others. Which Dennis's Moment will show up with a trip to the Derby on the line? Already a graded stakes winner around 2 turns, Shatsky has speed and stamina. Today he'll add a Hall of Fame rider on his quest to qualify for the first Saturday in May. And a $20 million prize was on the line in the world's richest race in Riyadh. Maximum Security will take a look back at his outstanding performance in Riyadh from earlier today. 6 graded stakes from Gulfstream ahead, plus one of the fastest fillies in the country returns to action at Oaklawn. It's all brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. Great to have you with us. I'm Greg Wolf. Welcome to America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports 2. Today, the most highly anticipated prep on the road to the Kentucky Derby so far this season, with a horse who electrified the racing world with his performance in a breathtaking maiden score. In Dennis's Moment's second start, he would stretch out and win a grade 3 at the same racetrack where the Kentucky Derby will be contested later on this year. But in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, he flopped, stumbled out of the gate, and never got involved. Which version of Dennis's Moment will we see this afternoon? Here to talk about it all and see this Derby prep coming up, New York Racing Association handicapper Andy Serling. Good to see you. Former champion jockey Richard Migliore, the MIG. In that Iroquois, when he did stretch out in the grade 3, we saw a horse who looked like he was progressing and looked like that brilliant horse who broke his maiden at Ellis Park.
I completely agree. I thought it was a very impressive performance for a horse making just his 3rd career start. To stretch out in September of his 2-year-old year to a 2-turn mile and 16th and run as well as he did, earn a Beyer speed figure of I think right around 90. I think people are underestimating how good a performance this was, and I know Richie Losman made that nobody was behind him, the old line. Well, if you look at the horses behind him, they pretty much back up the figure that he ran, and to me, that's the most important factor. I think this is a very good horse.
I think it's a very good horse, and add on to the fact that he showed versatility here. He did something differently. He took dirt in the face, he rated, and he made a big run.
Meanwhile, Mig, in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, he had the rail and things went bad from the start.
Well, the only 2 times this horse has been defeated is when things went wrong. Now, he stumbled. He kind of stumbled, but going forward at the same time. So some people would say, well, it wasn't that bad. For a young horse, it throws them out of rhythm, and it takes them out of their game. I think this horse had a legitimate excuse. I think you got to put a line through it and just go from what he does now as a 3-year-old going forward.
No, I agree. I mean, both times that he's had a clean trip, he's been very impressive. And it's not as though he's making his own trouble. He clipped heels and lost the rider one time, and then he stumbled to start. I'm looking forward to seeing him run today, and I think he's a big player in this division.
Beaten as an odds-on favorite in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, as Andy mentioned. Clipped heels, lost his rider in his debut, but in between, he has been absolutely sensational. We cannot wait to see Dennis's Moment making his 3-year-old return to the races in the Grade 2 Fountain of Youth. It is our America's Best Racing race of the week. It will go as race 14 today at Gulfstream Park. We're going to bring you 6 graded stakes races from Hallandale Beach, Florida. A lot to get to, and this is the field that is lining up. We do have one very big scratch in here. A long shot, McCoblin was taken out as well, but Chance It will not go, and that takes out some of the speed in the race.
It does take some of the speed and some of the talent, but I imagine that his trainer, Saffy Joseph, did not want to run from that far outside tricky post, a mile and a 16th, Richie, where they hit the turn very quickly.
Very quick, and he had just enough speed, I think, to get hung out, not enough speed to clear. I think it was probably a wise move to scratch and look for another spot.
As you see, loaded with stakes action from Gulfstream Park and the creme de la creme. Fountain of Youth with 50 points to the winner, which will get you into that starting gate in the Kentucky Derby with the return of Dennis's Moment. Right now we check in for the first time today with Lafitte Pinkai and Acacia Courtney from Gulfstream.
Yeah, Greg, I'm still trying to come to terms with the fact that there was a $20 million horse race run earlier today in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, $20 million, only the first 2 Breeders' Cups combined. But you know what the Saudi Cup didn't offer? That's points towards a Kentucky Derby occasion. That's what today's Fountain of Youth is all about. But that's not till after 6 o'clock. Occasion, what are some of the highlights you're looking forward to between now and then?
Well, let's not forget about the girls. We have the Davona Dale coming up, and we're going to see if Spice is Nice lives up to all the hype for trainer Todd Fletcher. She is a huge daughter of Curlin that cost over $1 million. She's been training with some of Todd's top colts in the morning and broke her maiden by 12 lengths in her debut.
As the road road to the Kentucky Oaks continues. I want to see what kind of afternoon trainer Dale Romans has. He's won at Preakness. He's won a Dubai World Cup. Never a Kentucky Derby. Every time we're back at Churchill Downs for the Derby, that's a big story. Will Dale Romans become the first Louisville native, Louisville-born trainer to win a Kentucky Derby? Maybe he can this year with Dennis's Moment, but that's not the only horse he's running today. He also has Mr. Freeze, morning line favorite for the Gulfstream Mile, coming off the biggest effort of his career. A runner-up second-place finish in the Pegasus World Cup. Is Mr. Freeze ready to become one of the most important dirt milers in North America?
And talking about the Pegasus, we have the Pegasus World Cup turf winner Zulu Alpha coming back for Mike Maker and Tyler Gaffleone. He really broke through, but let's not forget that he won the McDermott last year in 2019 and is trying to defend his title today, which will be great. And it's a treat to get him run again after the Pegasus.
And then Acacia texts me with some really bad news around 11 a.m. The announcement that Chance It, second choice on the morning line for the Fountain of Youth, was scratched. Again, the second choice for the Fountain of Youth defected. This is because of that poor post position number 12. Saffy Joseph announced that earlier today, but it's not as if he's on the sidelines. He's still on the Derby trail, and we will have a chance to see Chance It, the horse whose heart is as big as a racetrack, and his trainer, Saffy Joseph, who loves him like a son. We'll see him next week on America's Day at the Races, Greg, in the Tampa Bay Derby.
Yes, we will, and he's going to need a new rider because Tyler Gaffleone will not be available that afternoon, so they're going to have to go to the drawing board and find a new pilot. America's Best Racing, Twitter poll time, 50 Kentucky Derby qualifying points will go to the winner of Saturday's Fountain of Youth Stakes at Gulfstream Park. We want to know who you are going to go with. I would think Dennis's Moment, an overwhelming favorite for most voting, but as seen on TV, Ete Indienne or someone else in the field. What do you guys think?
I don't like Ete Indian breaking from the outside post, but I do think the other two are the main players.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shotsky's a horse that's drawn wide too, but not, he does have that one speed horse outside of him, and he should be forwardly placed.
Yeah, is he good enough?
So remaining race schedule brought to you by America's Best Racing. So Aqueduct, Gulfstream, Oaklawn, Tampa Bay track editions. It's all there quickly, presented by Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime with the Naira Bets app. Get signed up, started, play along, and you can earn up to $200 as a new member with that deposit match. Enter the promo code Big A at sign up. Bet twice your original deposit in 30 days and receive your initial deposit back up to $200. Again, bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Use that promo code Big A at sign up at NairaBets.com. All right, so let's check in New York. Fifth race from Aqueduct is coming up. It's a $12,000 claimer, guys. 7/8 of a mile, an H-man. The horse to beat right now for Orlando Nota, 14-time winner for the 8-year-old. He's won over $575,000.
And he just feels like he's taking a sort of a needed drop. He gets an interesting apprentice to Fukumoto. I'm having trouble pronouncing it. Daisuke, excuse me. I've liked what I've seen from this rider, Richie, so far. He hasn't had a lot of opportunities, but I think he's ridden well on the horses that he's had a chance on.
Well, that's all you can ask for a rider, to put horses in a position to do their best from. You can't make a bad horse faster. So as long as a rider gives horses opportunities to win.
And as I was trying to warm up, get my coffee earlier this morning, I saw Daisuke getting to work on the equicizer in the jockey's room. So he was still putting in work even when he wasn't out on the racetrack.
He's been spending a lot of time on the exercise, and the equicizer, actually. But I like his riding.
Approaching the 10-minute mark to post, we're going to check in Paddock side with Maggie Wolfendale.
And Greg, horses are getting ready here for today's fifth at the Big A. Some snowflakes in the air. It's a little chilly here, but hey, it is still February here in New York on this leap day. As we'll take a look at the inside runner, that's We Should Talk, as he'll go first off the claim for trainer Jeff Englehart. And he is a horse that does possess some speed as he breaks from that inside. He is fairly sharp today. Now, Dylan Davis, not necessarily known to be the most aggressive gate rider, but he has walked into this paddock, the horse that is, with an aggressive mindset, really kind of forward. So I'm thinking that we will see this horse forwardly placed here first off the claim for these new connections. Then Rudy Rodriguez, he sends out a couple duo. We'll take a look at the one that he reclaimed. That's number 1, Bootlegger. And yes, he is a little bit more of a turf horse, but you go back to last year at this time, and he was running fairly well and competitively in some nice races on the main track. And he's one that, yeah, he does tend to look good when he comes over for his races, but my eye just kind of keeps going back to him, and I thought he was interesting with that reclaim. But possibly the horse that looks the best here is number 6, Winning Drive for Jason Service. Now, I do think he took advantage a bit of a pace coming apart last time, but I like his overall presence here. He's striding out quite nicely. He by far looks the best. He has this really rich coat on him, and sometimes that's hard to achieve here in the middle of winter in New York, and I just like everything about him. And Greg, do you think Jason Service stayed up over in Saudi Arabia after that big win with Maximum Security to watch Winning Drive?
Interesting question. I think he has more important things on his mind right now with $10 million to go play with. And we're going to recap that entire victory in the Saudi Cup from Maximum Security. It was brilliant. We'll take a look back a little bit later on in the show. Of course, this program brought to you in part by Claiborne Farm, 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Speaking of Jason Service, I think he might be DVRing this show. We'll give him a copy after this win in the richest race in the world. Maximum Security reigns supreme in Riyadh. We'll be back.
Very excited to see them come on out and performing and look just like him, act like him, sleep and eat like Run Happy. They're pretty nice horses. Right now they're fast and working, and it's exciting to see when they go out running.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. New members earn up to a $200 deposit match with promo code BIG-A at NairaBets.com.
Flatter. This prolific son of A.P. Indy has sired 6 millionaires, including Eclipse champion West Coast. He's adding even more stakes winners to his outstanding record, including Sovereign Award winner Avies Flatter. His yearlings have topped the Fasig-Tipton July sale 2 years in a row and sold up to $900,000 at Keeneland September. Success on the track, success in the ring. Flatter, standing at Claiborne Farm.
You're watching America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports 2. It's brought to you in part by the champion sprinter, Run Happy. Raced his entire career medication-free, and he never lost while sprinting. Brilliant racehorse, now standing at Claiborne Farm. Late pick 5 begins here in the 5th at Aqueduct. $12,000 claiming race, 7/8 of a mile, and one of a couple of former Jason Service runners. Here's one of them, H-Man, who is our favorite. 5-2 on the board for Orlando Nota. 3 starts back, was a winner against state-bred competition. That was on a sloppy racetrack.
Yeah, and he was fortunate to win that day over Blue Belt, who seems not to know to find the winner's circle. You look at him and you say, well, he's taking this big drop. He's been running in $25,000 claim races, but you have to remember he was claimed for only $10,000. So he's not really taking a significant drop. You could argue that maybe he's been in a little bit over his head, and now he's in a more realistic spot, Richie.
Well, I think that's what it is. He's just getting the class relief that he needs. He fits very well in here. My issue with him is I just don't see a tremendous amount of speed in here, and he's a horse that would be aided by some pace.
I think that's a very good point. And that's why a horse like the 2 we should talk, who was just claimed for $8,000, but he could be the controlling inside speed, which is not a bad way to go on this racetrack.
It doesn't just seem with H-Man, though, too, his last couple of starts makes you that even the form that he had, he's not there right now.
Not quite, but he's been running it significantly better. I don't think a speed figure basis he's run that much worse.
Here's our post parade, and we start with the entry in here. This is Bootlegger, who's going to break from post 3.
I think we can agree he's the weaker half of the entry and probably a better turf horse.
Manifest Destiny breaks on the outside, 5-time winner.
He's one who can be forwardly placed and far and away the stronger half of the entry.
Mig, we should talk.
He's a controlling speed, and I like him from the inside. He's got to go to the lead and take no prisoners.
3-1, speed on the inside. 4 horses, H-Man, Orlando Nota, the favorite.
Taking the logical drop in class, but might be hurt by the lack of pace, appearing lack of pace in this race.
Deep Sea coming onto the track, making an equipment change, blinkers on.
He is taking a needed class drop in here, and he's a dangerous player at a little better price.
Jason Service What a day he's had. Looking at another one here, and a horse coming off a winning drive.
With apprentice Romero Mirage, who's making some good impressions here at Aqueduct. And Maggie liked the way this horse looked in the paddock. That's
Another
a good
horse
endorsement.
coming off a win, Mig, 6-1 on Desert Lights.
I think he's a little bit over his head, even though he's dropping claiming price. This is a much tougher field of winners.
And this one certainly appears to be over his head. Neighborhood Bully, 28-1 on the board.
Don't think he'll be bullying these guys.
It's already started.
Wow.
Not even half an hour in the show. And it's like
it's going to get better than this, right? Please tell me it's going to get better than this. Late pick 5 starts here, 84,000 plus. He's trying. I appreciate it. Richest race in the world was run earlier today in Riyadh in the Saudi Cup, and a tremendous contingent of American horses with her, including Midnight Bisou tackling the boys, and of course our horse who was DQ'd out of the Kentucky Derby, Maximum Security. He ran huge.
Yeah, I have not given this horse the credit at times in his career, though I do remember you and I talking about how well we thought he ran defeat at Monmouth earlier this year. This was an absolutely sensational performance. Irad Ortiz was reckless on Mucho Gusto in this race, and I know Jason Service rightfully called him out after the race. Maximum Security was interfered with multiple times in the stretch, arguably chasing what was probably a very strong pace given that Midnight Bisou closed from last, and he just never stops running. Richie, I think he is just a sensational racehorse.
Oh, he really is. And it seemed to me like when Midnight Bisou showed up inside of him, he found more. He was always going to come up with another answer. And this was hurting to a ridiculous level. You know, pick a lane. I think you actually hurt your horse more by weaving in and out and throwing their momentum and their balance off. And I don't know, maybe Irad didn't think they had Stewart's film patrols there, but obviously they do, and I just think he got carried away. Now you see Luis Saez celebrating. He had a pretty good year this night.
How important is this for Saez, too? Look, you're never going to get that Derby back, but in some ways, it's a bit of redemption to win a big race like this on this horse after getting DQ'd out of the Derby.
Well, it's huge. I mean, I can't even imagine what it felt like to be on the racetrack with your number blinking in the Kentucky Derby, ultimately, you know, getting disqualified, and how he dealt with it with so much class, because I don't know that I could have overcome a blow that tough, and this is certainly a nice night for him.
Well, Luis is a little saner than you are, Richie, so he's handled it a little better than you, but I can imagine how difficult that was. I think it's time for us to move on past the Derby. This is just a darn good horse, and he showed it in the Cigar Mile, and he's shown it numerous times, and he clearly showed it today. At this point, he has to be considered the best dirt horse in training.
No question. How about that showing, though, from the American contingent, all really showing a Maximum Security, of course, with the big win. Midnight Bisou running big in defeat. Do you think she should go on to the Dubai World Cup?
No.
Well, I mean, she's already in that part of the world. It's certainly a big person. You have to consider it off of that effort.
I guess you do. Listen, I'm surprised she ran as well as she did. So I was wrong. I didn't think she had a prayer in that race. And I'm guessing the pace was quick. I didn't see the fractions, but she did run well and came up the rail. A good ride by her, whether or not a mile and a quarter. Just because she was closing at a mile and an eighth doesn't mean she's back a mile and a quarter. Obviously, the American disappointment was McKenzie, but he ran too badly to be true.
Back to New York, 5th coming up here, post time momentarily. You can play the 50-50 promotion on the Naira Bets app today and earn a $10 bonus, regardless of whether you win or lose. To earn your bonus, just bet $50 at Aqueduct and $50 at Oaklawn on the Naira Bets app. You'll earn a $10 bonus. Visit NairaBets.com for all the details as we check in again with Maggie Wolfendale.
And you guys were talking about Bug Rider Romero Mirage coming up here, who does look very good. I've been impressed with what I've seen from him. But Eric Ansell having one heck of an Aqueduct meeting. He's aboard number 5. Deep Sea in here for John Toscano. It's kind of interesting. An 8-year-old puts blinkers on for the very first time in his career. Just a very short cup. I don't know if they're just trying to change it up because his last few efforts have been very disappointing. But again, as Andy said, he does get some class relief here. And this is a horse who definitely has the back class to go to. And he looks very fit coming in here. We'll see if those blinkers turn his career around now as an 8-year-old, Greg.
All right, Maggie, thank you for that. 3-1.
So these are not our picks. Richie likes the 2. I like the 4.
All right.
Sorry, clarify.
That's okay. We want to get it right. 3-1 on H-Man as they continue to load into the gate. Again, this kicks off the late pick 5, over 120,000 plus in that pool. We'll send it upstairs to get underway. You're watching America's Day on the Races on Fox Sports 2. John Imbrial with the call.
The final horse to go in will be the 1A, Manifest Destiny, who will break from the outside in this field of 8, and they're going 7 furlongs. Manifest Destiny just about ready to come up and go in. And he is indeed in the starting gate. And we are set for the start of race number 5. And they're off. And Manifest Destiny broke well from the extreme outside. We Should Talk away well from the inside. And We Should Talk has taken the lead. Manifest Destiny runs in second. Bootlegger is next in third. Winning Drive is alongside in fourth. And it's H-Man in fifth. Desert Lights moves up on the extreme outside. It's a break of 4 back to the 2 trailers, Deep Sea and Neighborhood Bully. We Should Talk has the lead, and the lead is 3/4 of a length through a quarter in 24 seconds. Desert Lights has advanced now up into second. Then it's Bootlegger who's down at the rail. In between horses, Manifest Destiny, Winning Drive on the outside. 2.5 lengths to H-Man, who runs in 6th. Deep Sea in 7th, and farther back is Neighborhood Bully. Midway around the far turn, We Should Talk is holding on to the lead here over Desert Lights as Winning Drive picks it up now on the extreme outside. Bootlegger is 4th. Manifest Destiny has dropped out of it. The half in 47 and 3/5 seconds. We Should Talk has the lead in the stretch, and We Should Talk has a 4-length lead. Then Bootlegger, Desert Lights, Winning Drive, Deep Sea out in the middle of the track. We Should Talk has been there right from the start, and it's going to be a double for Dylan. We Should Talk in front-running fashion. Desert Lights was second. Deep Sea came on for third. Bootlegger was 4th.
Yeah, the doubles you heard from John Imbrial for D squared in here, and he went awfully slow early on, and that was the difference.
Well, Richie called it. He was controlling speed, and Dylan did his job.
And, you know, the only concern is when you've got the rail, you want to break clean. When he broke as sharply as he did and established the lead as comfortably as he did, he's supposed to win, and he ran big.
He did, and he got a very, very moderate pace. And you're seeing those times. This track's been playing extremely slowly. Believe it or not, that's actually a pretty good time for this race. The third-place finisher in here, Deep Sea, ran pretty well when you consider how the horses that were 1, 2, 3, basically he was the only horse to make up ground. He made a big run in here to get third.
And in the end, actually winds up going off the slight favorite in here. So the betting public identifying the speed and the inside post, and Dylan Davis takes advantage at 3-1.
You don't think it's because Richie picked him?
That had a big part to
I
do
gotta
with it
think
as
that
well.
was a major, major factor.
I'm getting
Like he's like We're going to head to Hallandale Beach when we come back. Get started with the first of 6 consecutive graded stakes races ahead. Here comes the bride. Coming up next, mile and a 16th on the turf for 3-year-old fillies, and Abscon Group 1 winner back in action for Eddie Keneally.
Go from Railbird to Winner Circle. With My Racehorse, you have access to top horses and trainers, backside tours, exclusive ownership experiences, and fast payouts to your online account. With shares starting as little as $100, the Winner Circle is waiting for you. Go to myracehorse.com or download the My Racehorse app today to join the thousands who have already started their journey as a racehorse owner.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
Well, it looked like it would play out like this, and thanks to Dylan Davis, it did. Really the only speed of the race, drawn inside, and Dylan takes advantage.
Yeah, I think it's, it's something Richie and I have talked about this ad infinitum. A jockey's job is to just not get in his horse's way, and that's exactly what Dylan did. He didn't get in his way.
Yeah, this horse just got so comfortable. You could see down the backstretch when he's flicking his ears back and forth in a good rhythm, he was going to be very tough to beat.
$8 for the win. And we'll move into the late pick 4 next, but we head over to Gulfstream. Go ahead. What were you saying?
No. I was just trying to give you. I'm interested in this race at Gulfstream. Here Comes the Bride. I like the 3 Declaration Warrior off the maiden win. I think this horse could be okay. I don't think the horses they're betting in here are really that good. I'm not a big Abscond fan.
All right, the only Group 1 winner in the field. Here's a look at Hey Kitten, big long shot for Rudolph Brissett, coming off a maiden claiming victory on the turf. 17-1 with Flavian Pratt. 2 is scratched. We will see Andy's Declaration Warrior next, who's at 13 on the 13-1 on the board for Marcassi.
This horse looks a little bit slow, Hey Kitten. Here's my pick. This horse's maiden race was good. I like the horse that she beat. She came back and improved her speed figure to win her next start for, I think, trainer Mike Maker.
Yeah, be the next out winner. Here's Ginger Kitty. Speed in this field. One first-time out race taken off the turf, but shown ability on grass at Gulfstream last start. The 5 Cheermeister. Grade 3 winner here at Gulfstream in the Swedish chant, and another one with speed. In a Hurry, Shug McGahee trainee has won back-to-back starts. Daughter of Blame at 5-1 on the board. Abscond, the favorite at 5-2.
Yeah, I mean, she ran okay last time, but that was a race that fell apart, and the horses that closed in that race did not run well in their subsequent start, albeit on a softer turf.
Second time on the turf, Stunning Sky got a win for Mike Maker, was second off the claim, and won as the favorite. Whitez, Ian Wilkes, 12-1, Chris Landeros.
She looked like a no-excuse loser at 6-5 in a 5-horse field last time to In a Hurry, who's in here.
And Lucky Polymig, 5-1 here for Marcassi.
Yeah, and this is a horse that ran really well last time. Gets Johnny Velasquez after breaker maiden. That's always a good thing to get a Hall of Famer in the saddle.
Manny Franco in the long shot. Sunset Promise, another Mike Maker runner. Had faced Cheermeister and Abscond last couple of starts. Lost Ticket. Bill Mott comes in off a maiden score at Aqueduct as a 2-year-old. This will be the 3-year-old debut. Double-digit odds for the daughter of More Than Ready from that outside post.
You know,
so why are you against Abscond here?
Well, it's not that obviously she can win this race, but first of all, I know that Natalma's a Group 1, but people should understand that they're not ranked the same way, the Grade 1 races in Canada as they are in America. And that was not a particularly good field. She ran fine in the Breeders' Cup. It wasn't a bad effort. She ran okay. I just don't think her efforts are so good that I want to take a short price in this field. That's all. And I didn't love her last race.
I think that's fair. I like Whitez, though. I think that, Ian Wilkes is not a guy who cranks his horses up for their big race off the bench, and I think she'll move forward considerably.
Ryder's having a big meet.
5-2 favorite. There she is, Daughter of Blame, as we check in with Lafitte and Acacia.
You have a clue in this race, Acacia?
This is a tough race. I ended up going with the price. I picked the 3 Declaration Warrior as my top pick, but Abscond has obviously done some nice work. If you want to try to beat her, that's how you're going to make money in this race.
So she has a clue. Get used to this. The grass stakes races today at Gulfstream Park, wide open, really challenging. You mentioned Abscond. Let's take a look at her. She's the field's only Grade 1 winner. She opened up at 3-1. Abscond, who's at 5-2. Now, she showed us something at 2. The guys mentioned that in Natalma, and then Andy will appreciate this because Harvey Pack, one of his mentors, this was something he would really focus on as far as class. Abscond re-rallied when she had horses who were inside and or outside as a 2-year-old in the Natalma. Horses re-rally all the time when they're passed on one side, but not when they're passed on both sides. And the way she was able to dig and fight on that particular afternoon, a lot of class, Abscond, Acacia. So she wasn't up to Breeders' Cup caliber. She had excuses in her last race. What are you expecting from her today?
Well, the thing about her is I think that she was really taken out of her comfort zone last time out. She stumbled at the start. She's very small in stature. You see her even in the post parade next to the likes of the 8 Stunning Sky, who's massive. She just never really had a chance to get her feet underneath of her in the Ginger Brew. And I spoke to Irad Ortiz before that race, and he said the gameness she showed in Natalma was not something he's used to seeing, especially given her small size. So she has to run a better race in here today, but that was a very salty field in the Ginger Brew.
Could be a big afternoon afternoon. Jockey Tyler Gaffleone riding in stakes race after stakes race. Tonalist Shape, Davona Dale, Ombre, and the Canadian Turf, Embry. Hog Creek Hustle in the mile, and, of course, Chance It did scratch out of the Fountain of Youth, but he'll also ride Zulu Alpha in the McDermott occasion. Wanted to ask you about number 9, currently, Whitez, at 13-1. What do you make of his chances?
Well, this horse has just been dappled out from head to toe. Obviously, the glaring negative, you might as well say, is Chris Landeros has been riding well. Unfortunately, been stuck with a lot of seconds and thirds as far as in the money finishes. He has been 0 for the meet. Ian Wilkes has this horse, and he's had a good, solid meet. This one finished second in the Jessamine 2 starts back, and I thought that actually a race behind In a Hurry last time was impressive, and I like In a Hurry in here. She's one that I think is going to move forward. Whitez, I think, needs to show me a touch more.
Whitez. How about number 10 in Lucky Polly? Occasion not lucky at the draw. Post 9 now with the scratch. What kind of trip does John Velasquez try and work out from out there?
She's going to need to work out a trip. Now, we did see a little bit earlier on today a horse win from post 12 on the turf for Brendan Walsh. So I'm not overly concerned about the post when it comes to these distance races on the turf here at Gulfstream. But Mark Cassie has 2, and her stablemate Declaration Warrior has been outworking her in the morning, though Lucky Polly's last win was impressive over stunting for Todd.
You know, John Velasquez has never won a Here Comes the Bride. We won't hold that against them. He's won 10 combined Davona Dales and Fountain of Youth. Now, you said you felt like a long shot was live in here. Number 3, Declaration of War. There she is, currently 12-1.
Yeah, this filly I liked first time out, and she actually ran sneakily better than it looks in her debut. Mark Cassie, normally not known for winning first time out, looked like this filly might need a race. She finished up really well, full of run at 5-1 in her next race, and I was encouraged. Duchess of Sussex with a nightmare trip came back to win for Grand Motion the next time out. I like this one in here at a nice price.
Good luck with your long shot. Yeah, 12-1 currently. We wanted to get back to In a Hurry. Now, based on her 3-year-old debut 4 weeks ago, sharp win here, Gulfstream Park, world-class trainer, Shug McGahee. Like, what's not to like?
Well, she's an interesting one, and I had actually spoken to Shug McGahee about her, and he said she was stabled at Fair Hill, nice purses at Colonial, let's take advantage. He said after that maiden win last time out here at Gulfstream, he had been hoping maybe for an allowance spot, but she was training so well, and he said, well, I have the second choice in the stakes, so maybe I did find the right spot. He said he loves how she's been coming into this race.
7 years ago, owner Stuart Janney, Shug McGahee won the Fountain of Youth with Orb, would go on to capture the Florida Derby and, of course, Kentucky Derby glory several weeks later. They are at the gate, price plummeting now. On the Grade 1 winner, Abscon 2-1 at post time. I can't tell who that is as a rider off here, Acacia.
Hard to see from the angle of where we are. Looks like they're holding things up just a little bit loading into the gate. That usually means one of the first inside horses, perhaps the one Hey Kitten, who seems to be settled now.
It's like Ginger Kitty, and you saw those Calumet colors there with Jairo Rendon in the saddle, a long shot currently 35-1. Filing into the gate, first of 6 graded stakes races on this Fountain of Youth undercard, this Super Saturday of Racing from Gulfstream Park. It is post time for the Grade 3 Here Comes the Bride. All set for Pete Ayalo.
Cheermeister's ready now. Rider steps off Lucky Polly as Sunset Promise gets ready to step in line. That leaves Lost Ticket to the outside. Also still behind the gate, In a Hurry. In a Hurry getting ready. Lost Ticket to the outside gate. They're in the gate. And they're off. And Here Comes the Bride. Lucky Polly away quickly, though she ducked in a touch at the start, and Cheermeister reaching out for her customary early lead, and she'll lead as they come by us the first time. Splitting Horses is Abscond, sharpened to second now on the outside, and Wheatez from third. On hold while fourth is Declaration Warrior, has lost tickets trying to avoid being caught wide, but she is destined for a 5-wide run around the first turn. In a Hurry tucked in the 2-path, only 2.5 lengths off the leader. Next at Derail and Ginger Kitty, followed by Sunset Promise out wide on the course in Stunning Sky, and the trailer is Hey Kitten as they run around the first turn. 23-2 for a strong opening quarter speed. Cheermeister has the lead. Abscond in the 2-path is second. Declaration Warrior third at the inside. Followed fourth by Wheatez. In between Horses and In a Hurry. Out wide and Lost Ticket. She's now only 2.5 or 3 lengths off the lead. Lucky Polly is between Horses. Far outside goes Stunning Sky, at Derail and Ginger Kitty. Then back to Sunset Promise. And still at the back is Hey Kitten. Around the far turn they go. They went 47-1 for a strong half mile, and Cheermeister playing the game her way. She's on top here as they move now 3 furlongs from home. Abscond is second. Wheatez and Declaration Warrior together third and fourth. On from fifth and wide is Lost Ticket. Saving ground In a Hurry. She'll need to find some place to go. Leparou's got no place to work now as Lucky Polly brackets her in after 3 quarters. In 1:12-2, they arrive at the top of the stretch. Cheermeister set down for the drive by Jaramillo. She kicks away to lead by 2. Abscond right back at her from second. Wheatez and Declaration Warrior are next. In deep stretch, Cheermeister trying to get home. Abscond trying to lift late. It's Cheermeister still there, and Cheermeister went all the way. Another gate-to-wire success for Cheermeister. She wins the Here Comes the Bride over Abscond in 1:41-1.
Emiseo Jaramillo gets to the front on Cheermeister, speed of the speed, and able to have enough late to win.
I think the term merry-go-round race, Richie, comes into play here, as basically the 5, 7, and 3 just ran 1, 2, 3 around the racetrack, and Cheermeister was able to back it down last time in a bog. I know they listed the course as good, but it was boggy that day, and I really thought she was up against it today. Not the case.
Yeah, got very comfortable on the lead, and we say it all the time. Speed is dangerous, and when a horse gets comfortable and their confidence level blows up, you could see down the backstretch she was going to be very tough to get by.
Yeah, she just never stopped running. Nice run. Nothing wrong with Abscond's race. She stalked her on the outside, and she just couldn't get by her, but Cheermeister just keeps rolling along.
Whenever she has gotten the lead, although one of them was via DQ first time out, she's gotten the win.
No, I mean, yeah, you know, and it's interesting you point that out, Greg, and we talk about that a lot. You know, someone will say my horse can rate, and sometimes you'll see a horse that has a speed type and finishes second or third. You've got to be able to win sitting behind horses, and I know one of my reasons that, Richie, you were one of my favorite riders is you were never afraid to go to the front end.
Not if horse is doing it easy. Don't take anything away that comes easy.
9-1 on Cheermeisters. We check in for the first time today in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Race 4. It is a maiden special weight, 2-turn mile coming up. And Hunt the Front for Nick Zito and Toby Keith's Dreamwalking Farms, our current favorite.
I'm a fan of this horse. Horse debuted at Aqueduct back in November and actually ran very, very well to finish third behind the reasonably talented Toledo, a Juddmonte horse for Chad Brown. Then caught a sloppy track and got a ridiculous wide trip at Churchill Downs last time. And then last time ran into Villainous on opening day in the slop again. Gets a dry track. And I'll tell you something. I'm always rooting for my friend Nick Zito to do well. And Nick's won just about every big race this country has to offer. And I'd like to see Hunt the Front run well, finally getting back to a fast track.
And I thought this horse had a bit of a trip last time, too. Kind of had to wait and find room and wasn't in the most comfortable position.
Certainly not as good as the winner either had, too. And the winner had that clean, easy trip. He came back, of course, in their Southwest the next time for Jeremiah Englehart.
Saw that 4-stepping in special day last time. He was on dirt. He ran second to Azul Coast, who we saw win the El Camino Real Derby for Bob Baffert on the road to the Kentucky Derby. We send it out to Vic Stauffer. Here's the 4th from Oaklawn Park.
They're off. Knockout Bird broke outward into Baba Lou. Pine Knoll shows speed. Shack's Way sharp early. Then General Trev and Energizer with Miss Hugh Maxwell and Special Day, followed by Hunt the Front, who is towards the back of the pack, along with Jimmy T and Baba Lou. 3 of them across the track to the back stretch. Knockout Bird, Shack's Way between horses, and Pine Knoll at the rail. First-time starter Shack's Way puts his head in front. These 3 have sprinted 4 lengths clear of Energizer, a length and a half to General Trev. Then it's Special Day. He's 6th with about 6 lengths to make up. It's another 4 back to Jimmy T, another 5 back to Babalu, then Hunt the Front, and the trailer is Miss You Maxwell, 20 lengths first to last as they head past the half-mile pole. The 16th pole is the finish line, and Pine Knoll has a head in front of Shack's Way. Knockout Bird 3 deep. Energizer just in behind those 3, 2 from the front. General Trev has 2.5 to make up. Special Day is 4 from the front. Then it's a big gap back to Hunt the Front. He's about to take 7th, but he's about 9 lengths behind, but he is moving. Hunt the Front is closing fast now. He's still 6 behind, but could be heard from at the top of the stretch as General Trev has taken over the lead. Shack's Way is gone. Hunt the Front has moved up into 4th, and now he's 3 lengths behind. Special Day just bolted, and that gave Hunt the Front a chance to get through. General Trev and Hunt the Front. General Trev leads by 1.5 lengths. Hunt the Front is trying to run him down. He's passed everybody except General Trev, who is clear to win. General Trev beat Hunt the Front. Energizer was 3rd, close for 4th. Special Way and Pine Knoll.
Steve Asmussen runs 1-3 here. He gets the win with a first-timer, son of Constitution, General Trev.
Amazing, those Constitutions. He's had a tremendous freshman year, and Source ran very well. We thought Hunt the Front was going to get him, but he got to lug it in a bit in the stretch, Richie.
Got to lug it in and had to make up so much ground to get to that position. I think it kind of showed up on him a little bit late, but take nothing away from the winner, who kept finding under hard-riding Ricardo Santana. You got to like how aggressive that guy is.
To do that, first time out, around 2 turns.
No, I agree.
Impressive performance. Nice. It's ticket time to the first Friday in May, although Spice is Nice may have other plans, nominated to face the boys in the Triple Crown. She'll face undefeated tonalist Shape in the Davona Dale Perfect 4 for 4. Her trainer believes the further she goes, the better she'll get. Davona Dale's coming up.
Eclipse champion Blame. Ranked among the top stallions of his crop, Blame has sired over 50 stakes horses. His recent top performers include Kentucky Derby hopefuls Shotsky, winner of the Grade 2 Remsen Stakes, and rising star Nadal, a $700,000 juvenile purchase and winner of the Grade 2 San Vicente. Plus recent Grade 1 performers Mississippi, Alandra, and Natalma Stakes winner Abscond. Outstanding value, outstanding results. Blame, standing at Claiborne Farm.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. New members earn up to a $200 deposit match with promo code Big A at NairaBets.com.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
You're watching America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports 2. Cheermeister gate to wire win at 9-1 in the Grade 3. Here comes the Bride at Gulfstream.
What can you say? You know, you got to like horses like this. She just goes out there and does her job. I mean, obviously the race played in her favor the way speed held up, but she keeps winning, Richie.
Yeah, you love horses that show that consistency and show up every time. And think to get that price on a horse that just got done winning a graded stake there at Gulfstream, kind of turns out it was an overlay.
So Cheermeister with a Grade 3 victory. Up next, it is a prep for the Kentucky Oaks with 50 points to the winner, which will get you into that starting gate that first Friday in May. And obviously Spice is Nice. She was thought to be very, very good. She went for over $1 million at the Keeneland September yearling sale. She won just like her daddy Curlin did first time out, winning by 12 lengths.
And it's interesting, her dam, Dame Dorothy, she's one of that long list of horses that broke her maiden on Cigar Mile Day that went on to win a Grade 1. And she was a very good runner for Bobby Flay. And she sold for $1 million. Bobby Flay had another horse at Saratoga out of his dam America that sold for, I think, $1.5 million at Saratoga last summer at the sales.
2-5, extremely short price. This is just start number 2, graded stakes debut for Spice is Nice as we head to Gulfstream and check in with Acacia.
Greg, thank you. I'm joined by trainer Armando de la Cerda. And Armando, Cheermeister has been quite a horse in your barn. I feel like we were just standing here when she went wire to wire last time. What were you thinking when she got the lead today?
Well, I figured the 4-horse got little speed, and so I told Jaramillo, you know, she likes to go in front, because when she broke bet last time before the race, and then she go in the race, she go behind, look like she don't like it. So I don't know if she's because not like it or because she broke big bet. So I told Jaramillo, whatever happens, she's ready. So see the other horse go fight with you, try to go no matter what, and then relax it, you know, because she's ready. I mean, I don't want to run in this race because I've been running every month. So I want to skip this race, but she's doing good last couple of weeks. She's happy, kicking, and so I say, well, let's run it right here.
Well, I bet you're glad you didn't skip it, Armando. Thank you, and congratulations, Greg, as Cheermeister gets that graded stakes victory.
A great feeling on a big day to win a graded stakes, and Cheermeister takes advantage of that pace scenario and goes gate to wire for the win as we look at odds for the 6th here in New York. At Aqueduct, again, a New York-bred maiden special weight coming up here, a sprint at 6.5 furlongs. Scuttlebuzz, Jonathan Thomas. Not much was known about this horse first time out, but wow, after that debut effort, the word is out now.
It's amazing because it has a gigantic turf pedigree. The dam was a turf horse. The Factor, the sire, has been an effective turf sire. And they just dragged this horse to the back of the pack. And I am sure that Eric Cancel was under instructions. The race was falling apart in the late stages, but this horse really put in a big run. But Richie, how much more speed do you expect him to have today?
Well, and if he shows more speed today, could it be a mistake? Because he was successful running with that style last time. The thing that stands out to me about it is he was 35-1 in his debut, so he hadn't tipped his hand that there was a lot of ability there the first time. So was it a function of the race falling apart?
You know, those are all good questions. I'm interested in the 4, the last ace, though, the firster.
First timer with Kendrick Carmouche for John Morrison, son of Honor Code. Let's check in with Maggie Wolfendale.
Greg, you mentioned the odds, and while we expected number 3, Scuttlebuzz, to take a lot of money, number 4, the last ace, is doing so. But Scuttlebuzz, as Andy mentioned, bred to be a turf horse, looks like an all-out turf horse. The fact that he ran so well first time out really surprised me. And 2, he almost ran like a turf horse too, because he didn't have that early speed, but he had that late kick, that turn of foot. We'll see if he displays it here again. Now, taking a lot of money is number 4, the last ace. Out of AC Juicy, a grade 1 winning dirt sprinter, have to preach to the devil, as well as Paddock for the same connections here. I don't get it necessarily. He looks fit, but he looks as though he could strengthen. He was warming up without the pony, and while he was professional enough and had a light buoyancy to his stride, moving well out there, just doesn't seem all that clued in. But the early money, the works indicate he might have some early speed. Thinking that number 8, Mr. Buckley, might do the same, comes from a family of dirt sprinters, a full to Tricky Zippy, as well as I Love Lulu, a New York bred stakes winner. He looks like the true dirt sprinter of this field. Comes in here well muscled, seemed well prepared, but Ray Handel is not known for his first time starters, Greg.
All right, Maggie, thank you for that. 7-2, nevertheless, on Ray Handel's Mr. Buckley, the son of City Zip, from that outside post. But even money on that horse stepping in. The 3, Scuttlebuzz. Will he be closer early on today? He had a ton of ground to make up in that debut, and he nearly made it all up. Start number 2 comes right here for Jonathan Thomas and Eric Cancel. Send it upstairs to the call of the 6th here from Aqueduct on Fox Sports 2's America's Day at the Races. Here's John Imbrial.
Waiting now for number 8, Mr. Buckley, to go into the starting gate to complete the line. Field of 8 going 6.5 furlongs here at Aqueduct, and we are just about set. And they're off. Scuttlebuzz had to steady shortly after the start, and Scuttlebuzz, the even money favorite, is the early trailer. It is Forest Spirit, the last ace, and Being Me down at the rail. The last ace has now come away with the lead. Forest Spirit, Being Me heads apart 2nd and 3rd. Mr. Buckley is next in 4th, and Montauk Memories runs in 5th. Black Irish is 6th. After that slow start, Scuttlebuzz is on the extreme outside, and I Prowl Alone. It's the last ace who leads here by a head. The quarter went in 23-1. Forest Spirit 3 wide is Mr. Buckley, and there is Scuttlebuzz now. 4 wide as the field is midway around the turn. It's a break of 4 lengths. Back to Montauk Memories. Then it's Being Me, farther back Black Irish. The field is coming for the top of the stretch, and it's the last ace with the lead. Half mile in 47 3. The last ace is in front. The lead is 2. Mr. Buckley runs in second. Scuttlebuzz is struggling now as they hit the 8th pole. It is the last ace, and the last ace is open up now. The last ace in front by almost 5 lengths. Mr. Buckley is second. The last ace will be first. The last ace wins by 5 lengths. Mr. Buckley was second, then Forest Spirit and Scuttlebuzz.
Things went wrong for Scuttlebuzz early on in this race. Meanwhile, first time out, the last ace under Kendrick Carmouche with the win.
And you can't help but think of Diane Nelson, who won her lone career Grade 1, the late Diane Nelson, on the dam Acey-Deucey when she won the Priorist. And I don't know if this one will be that good, but she's got a similar running style, and Acey-Deucey was a runner.
Similar running style, and you really got to appreciate that this horse battled between horses and kicked on, kept finding a homebred from Stonebridge Farm, and John Morrison did a good job having him ready first time.
I'm always happy to see John Morrison win a race. He does a good job with what he has. Obviously, you alluded to it, Greg, Scuttlebuzz. He lost all chance to start.
Now let's take a look at that beginning, and Eric Cancel with decisions to make here. 3 horse you're looking at, and gives up a lot of lengths here. Has to check early.
Yeah, I mean, Eric Cancel has had an unbelievable meet. He's actually in range to be leading rider, so I don't want to be too critical of him. Sometimes he gets these problems. I don't know if somebody came over on him, Richie, without seeing the head on. You can't be sure what happened.
Yeah, I mean, it did look like he got squeezed at the start through no fault of his own. The mistake I think he made was, though, then getting the horse running so much down the backstretch that he got back in the race so quickly and used up all of his energy just getting back in the race. When you break slow, that's a bad hand you've been dealt. Play the hand accordingly.
And let me point something else out, by the way, of this race. This race went significantly faster in the other division of the race. And the other division of the race was won by a nice, promising horse who had run a good buyer in his previous race. This comes up a pretty fast race.
And a good run from the other first-time starter from the outside, Ray Handel's horse, the Mr. Buckley. He ran well, but just ran into a buzzsaw.
Well, he's carrying you and Maggie, and I'm lighter than the 2 of you combined. It's close, but...
The last ace with the win. First time out for John Morrison with Kendrick Carmouche. A look at Spice is Nice, as mentioned. She won just like Daddy did. Curlin, first time out, nearly identical 12-length score. Can she continue to follow in his footsteps and win her graded stakes debut in the Davona Dale? It's coming up next.
Grade 1 winner and track record setter Lee. Like their sire, his first crop runners have excelled on both dirt and turf, including stakes winner and graded stakes performer Muskoka Gold and 2-year-old stakes winning filly Vast, with juveniles selling over $400,000 and yearlings bringing up to $650,000. The sky is the limit for this promising young stallion. Lee, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports 2. Thanks for spending part of your Saturday with us back in the 6th here at Aqueduct. The last ace, first time out, is your winner, but may have come in on Scuttlebuzz, the big favorite, just a little bit at the start, and yeah, it does, squeezes him.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to adjudicate. I don't even think, Richie, that was that bad. Did Eric overreact a little bit?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say that he overreacted because he did get kind of squeezed in between two. But that was a case, if you watch it closely, where Kendrick Carmouche on the winner did a really good job pulling off of him. You could see the effort he made. You know, things are going to happen at the break. Horses are going to break left to right. But when a rider makes an effort, that goes a long way with me.
And by the way, this has not gone official yet, for what it's worth.
I don't get me started on what they look at and don't look at upstairs. But to be fair, we just don't adjudicate what goes on at the start.
Well, most racetracks across the country, I would say, let you play out of the gate a lot more.
Right. And as Richie said, this was one where, I mean, we've seen significantly more egregious ones with this where nobody's done anything either. And that isn't even including Byron.
And I'll be honest with you, it's a practice that I'd like to see end at some point. I just don't think they should let them get away with that much.
Post-parade for the Grade 2 Davona Dale, there is Chart, daughter of Lee, who was impressive. First time out, won by 5+ lengths, is a favorite at Tampa.
She would surprise me. This is a huge jump up.
19-1 on Chart, trained by Gary Contessa. Joe Bravo, he will have the call here this afternoon as she attempts to stretch out and start number 2 after going 6 furlongs in that debut. Here's Dream Marie for Matthew Williams, a daughter of Gradar. She's won 3 in a row.
She has, but she did it against cheaper horses. This is a huge jump up, but you got to take a shot at some point.
Daughter of Triple Crown champion American Pharoah, Emily's Oasis.
Another one stepping up in class and is going to have to find, I'm sure they're looking for black type.
Nikki and Papa's start number 2. She is still a maiden. She debuted in a Grade 3.
Yeah, interesting handling of this horse. Comes out of a slow race. We'll see.
And that was against Tonalist Shape and did hit the board. Reluctant Bride, 20-1. Patrick Biancone.
This is my pick in here. I think she has a chance to at least be second of the favorite. This one's pedigree says dirt, and a dam was a very good dirt horse.
Well, they thought so highly of this filly, they nominated her to the Triple Crown. Spice is nice.
Well, her debut was very impressive, and she has a chance. You know, she has a chance, Richie, to be one of the players in this division.
Very impressive, and really very impressive physically in the paddock.
9-1 on Bayern Nash. Cherie DeVoe, former assistant to Chad Brown.
Listen, she's been okay. She was okay as a 2-year-old. If she takes that improvement, right, from 2 to 3, why can't she have a chance?
Antonio Sano trains Adeline, who's been in graded stakes company before. Big long shot, though. And then on the outside, Tonalist Shape. Perfect 4 for Saffy Joseph Jr.
I am about as against this horse as you can be. I don't think she's that good, and I think she's going to be completely exposed in this race.
Well, she won off the layoff to win her 3-year-old debut. Saffy Joseph says she wants more ground. She'll get even better. We'll see. She's going to get it here as we go to Lafitte Pinkai.
With Saffy Joseph, who has Tonalist Shape going in this Davona Dale. Saffy, she's undefeated. She won the Forward Gal by daylight. You seem to think, though, that there's still some improvement there. How so?
Yeah, we think the improvement's going to come, and naturally as she goes further, there's going to be improvement. She seems like she has a lot of stamina. I mean, so far, we cut her back in trip last time, but that was just to get her back started. I mean, today she's going to have to improve again today. Todd's filly is really nice, Spice is nice, and it's going to be a tall task.
And how has she trained since the Forward Gal?
She's trained well. Not a very flashy workhorse, but her last workhorse was as good as she worked. So we go here hopeful.
You were discussing instructions, strategy, I would think, with Tyler Gaffleone. How much of that would you care to share with us?
Well, he worked her twice, and I just tell her break her, use her a little bit to get position, and then let her get comfortable. I mean, he's a good rider. We have full confidence in him, so we leave the rest to him.
So she's trying to keep her perfect record intact. We were looking forward to seeing Chance It run today. Second choice in the morning line for the Fountain of Youth. You decided to scratch. What went into that thinking, and when did you make that decision?
We made a decision literally at 12 o'clock. It was down to the wire. I mean, we were leaning to scratching. We were trying to see if we were getting one more scratch. But, I mean, the post position, that's all it comes down to. I mean, yeah, we're trying to get to the Derby, and this is a building block, and it's just a step. It's not the final step. And we think there's a better route to go now. With concerning the position we drew, we figured that we'll be giving up too much advantage, and we don't want to give up an advantage.
Tampa Bay Derby next then?
Yes, Tampa Bay Derby next week.
Thanks for the time, Saffy.
Thanks, Lafitte. Take care.
Guys?
Lafitte, thanks. Saffy Joseph, he came to South Florida about 9 years ago with just 2 horses. Parents wanted him to go to college. He briefly went to FIU, said he spent more time at Gulfstream and Calder, and here he is with a couple of real nice horses on the Oaks and Derby trails. We take a look at Spice is Nice, who's our favorite for Todd Pletcher.
If she runs back to her debut, she's going to be very, very tough to beat.
She was impressive. I mean, she's a big, long striding filly to debut at a mile like that. And good news for Bobby Flay. He sold her for a lot of money, but he still has the dam.
So we briefly saw Tonalist Shape. She's the 9 in here at 5-2. You wanted to comment, though, on that outside post that you were talking about with Saffy Joseph.
Well, because they scratch Chance It because he had post 12 going a mile and a 16th. Very short run to the first turn in the Fountain of Youth. An outside draw is perfect for a one-turn mile because you've got nearly a half a mile to the turn. So he got unlucky with the draw in the Fountain of Youth. I think very lucky with the draw here.
He did. Unfortunately, his horse actually had a chance in the Fountain of Youth.
Wow, you're
I think this
here.
horse has absolutely no chance whatsoever in this race.
I'll
get the dunce cap ready for her.
Is it because you think...
I think she's too slow.
Spice is Nice is that good, or you just don't believe that she is talented?
I think she's too slow. I mean, I'm not sure. That last race came up very, very slow. Listen, this is a trainer that's winning at a very high percentage, so you get in trouble taking huge stands against their horses. But, I think Spice is Nice is clearly better, but I even think Byroness is a better horse than she is, and I'm hopeful that the number 5 horse can improve going to the dirt.
The first Andy Serlingism of 2020.
All right, her best race was at a mile, Tonalist Shape. And she gets an outside draw, and she's got 4 races under her belt.
That race 2 back is coming up to be a phony fig.
By the way, cross-country Pig 5, it brings the best racing from all across the country into 150-cent wager. The all-stakes sequence begins in about 12 minutes in the 8th at Tampa Bay Downs. What time is it right now? Okay, so, yeah.
Well, I think that Tampa Bay's a little later, but we're trying to get it before
we'll get there eventually. You can bet it online. Look for XCP5 in your track selection menu. I'm with Mig. I mean, that was a nice performance to win off the bench, 3-year-old debut. He seems to think she's going to want a little more ground. I think she's going to get better in this start than what we saw in that first start of her 3-year-old campaign.
I think
Andy's not a believer.
Completely destroyed in here.
And there is a look at the Kentucky Oaks leaderboard. Tonalist Shape in the mix right there with 10 points already, but it's finite atop the board. British Idiom, of course, we saw on our program earlier this year.
You know, and I like when you see this. Johnny Velasquez on the 6, Spice is Nice, feet out of the stirrups. He warms them up, then he kicks his feet out of the stirrups, gives them a chance to relax, catch their breath. So when you see a rider after the warm-up do that, it's just a little worse. Get relaxed and collect themselves, and she looks very professional. Sometimes the first start can rattle them a little bit. It looks like she's really got a handle on everything. Very professional in the post-parade.
So still 3-5 favoritism on Spice is Nice, the $1 million daughter of Curlin, as we head back to Lafitte and Acacia.
Yeah, Greg, all eyes on Spice is Nice. 3-5 currently as we get closer to post-time Acacia. What do you think? Should we believe the hype?
I think we should. I had mentioned this earlier. Looking at her debut, I saw her in the paddock before the race, and I said, maybe she's going to need some more ground. Maybe she needs some time to fill into herself, or maybe she just needs a race. She is massive, and I had asked Todd about her because she's been training with his good colts in the morning, like Liam's Point market analysis, and he said that was not only a test, but also it's hard to find company that's big enough to work with her in the morning, and she's shown up for all of those tests every morning.
But it's a horse race. Upsets happen. It's been challenging on the chalk players this afternoon at Gulfstream Park. You like Reluctant Bride here a little bit. Number 5, currently 21-1.
I love her, and I've got money on her as well. This is a horse that I saw in her first start, and I said I really liked the way that she finished up. Feeling Funny was a high-priced American Pharoah filly for Mark Cassey, who was well bet. This filly finished up great, and I spoke to Patrick Biancone the other day. Ete Indian, another example, started on the turf, switched to the dirt, and he said a lot of his good horses, he likes to do that. The turf is an easier trip, switches them to the dirt. She looks like a dirt horse to me, has dirt pedigree. I'm going to give her a shot.
Quickly, Tonalist Shape, second choice, undefeated, forward gal winner. Saffy Joseph seems like, we just spoke with him, like he is really expecting even improved effort this afternoon.
She's been training great in the mornings. He's been on a great run. She's done nothing wrong as of yet, but I like others in this spot.
The march towards the Kentucky Oaks continues. Spice is Nice. Is she legit? She's the odds-on favorite. It is post time for the Grade 2. Davona Dale, Pete Ayala with the remainder of the load and call.
Inside the gate, Reluctant Bride and Spice is Nice are ready now. Nikki and Papa, well talked about daughter of Mineshaft. Byroness. Then Adeline and Tonalist Shape. Tonalist Shape, Tyler Gaffleone brought to the outside. They're in the gate. And they're off in the Davona Dale. It was a good start inside for Chart, who's going to be put into play to take the early lead. Up in the center, here's Spireness moving to challenge, and on the far outside, Tonalist Shape looking to get over from her high draw as they run out of the chute. Tonalist Shape goes after Byroness up front. Now at the inside, Chart is taken back. Meanwhile, the race favorite Spice is Nice is between horses and only a neck off the lead, wide on the course in Adeline. Then it's the great Dream Marie. She's closer than usual as the pace is very slow. Vanny Olson rushing Nikki and Papa into traffic through a 23-4 opening quarter. It's a logjam up front. The two at the back are Emily's Oasis and Reluctant Bride. They make their way to the half-mile grounds. Tonalist Shape has the lead. Chart has the rail. Spice is Nice is 3 wide. 4 wide Adeline. Getting shuffled back a bit there was Byroness. So was Fanny's on Nikki and Papa out wide on the course. And Dream Marie, a gap of 2.5 to Emily's Oasis. And still at the back, Reluctant Bride. Now the pace starts to quicken. 46-4 for the opening half-mile. Less than 3 furlongs to run. With the advantage, Tonalist Shape. Repelling challenges on both sides. Chart toward the rail. Spice is Nice on the outside. Puts her head into the ring. Mitchell tries to spring an upset with Dream Marie. She's 5 wide. There's a quarter of a mile left to go. The two favorites land first and second at the top of the lane with the leader Tonalist Shape by 2. Spice is Nice is second. Dream Marie down the stand side. 1/8 of a mile to go. Tonalist Shape, Gaffleone calling on all her class. She's responding with a 3-length lead. Spice is Nice is clearly second. Third is Dream Marie. The Davona Dale goes to Tonalist Shape. She does nothing wrong and wins by 1.5 lengths. Spice is Nice was second. Dream Marie with a huge effort for third in 1:36.3.
No one has been able to beat her. Tonalist Shape now 5 for 5 for Saffy Joseph Jr.
I got her in the winner's circle. You know, she got away with a very slow, tepid pace in here, but she got the job done.
Yeah, she just, you know, some horses have that knack. They find a way to keep winning. She strings together victories. The surprise to me was the 6 Spice is Nice. She was under intense pressure from about the half-mile pole. You didn't think she could hit the board, and she hung around for second. She really was hard-ridden.
No, I agree. She was nowhere near the same kind of horse that she was first time out. And it's not as though first time out she won with the lead. She actually closed that day. It's like she never got comfortable in this race. And I don't really know how strong this race is going to come back. That was a disappointing effort. She took a big step backwards in her second start. Spice is Nice. Not to say she can't move forward, but this was nowhere near as good as her maiden win.
Second to a filly who's 5 for 5 now.
Exactly. And
we'll see where she is at the end of the year.
But the toughest jump you make is going from beating maidens to facing winners.
Yep. Yeah, no, Todd Pletcher does not have great numbers. Here's one for you. Greatest stakes off maiden wins in the dirt. He's 5 for 55 now with an ROI of under $1.
Tonalist Shape, she just keeps on winning. Perfect 5 for 5. Tyler Gaffleone filling in for the victory.
And her 5th win with her 5th different jockey. Interesting that a filly
amazing.
that keeps winning can't keep her rider.
Well, Irad, in fairness, was out of town, so
Yeah.
he was drifting all around the track in Saudi Arabia, or he would have been there on her today.
He's been runner-up in one of the richest races in the world. The versatile Mr. Freeze shortens up to a distance he was a winner at in his last attempt. Meanwhile, High Call had Derby dreams last year, forced to miss the Derby. He could be back for a vengeance as a 4-year-old.
Coming on strong.
Minute to stardom. On top, coming down to the final 16th, opening up a 2-length lead.
My love for you.
Wild About Star, shining big here in Very One.
Oh, why did I wrong?
Testing 1, 2. The Star Guitar filly leads Champagne Diva close to home. It's testing 1, 2.
Feel my love for you. Coming on strong.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. New members earn up to a $200 deposit match with promo code Big A at NairaBets.com.
Run Happy is simply super. He polishes off
medication, no problem. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
We are back, guys. Do you have questions?
I usually just have answers.
Well, America's Best Racing has your answers if you do have any. Visit americasbestracing.net today. Any question you may have.
Really? Personal questions about you, Greg Wolf?
They may have it. They have it all.
Good to know. I'll be going there after the show.
Into the winner's circle. Tonalist, shape perfect, 5 for 5, but Andy Serling's still not impressed.
Well, you know, I hate to admit I was dead wrong about this horse. Absolutely dead wrong. I do think she had a soft trip, but even so, she got the job done, and I couldn't have been more wrong about her.
$6.20 for the win against Saffy Joseph. Slam Dunk Racing. Tyler Gaffleone filling in for Irad Ortiz Jr. as we check in New York. 7th at Aqueduct, New York Breds entry-level allowance race. It is a one-turn mile as we look at the favorite here. Freaky Styley set to make his 4-year-old debut for Jorge Abreu.
Yeah, he had some tough losses at short prices, and he was starting to look like a horse that just couldn't get it done. He found the right field last time, but I do think his win last time is much better than it looks on paper because that race essentially fell apart. That was a very fast pace, especially when you look at the pace, Richie, versus the final time, and he was game to get the victory. Here, though, he's not going to be part of the pace. We'll see if that affects him.
I actually think he'll be better from just off the pace.
So do I.
I think he was just the best horse. They didn't want to take any chances, put him on the lead.
Totally agree.
Well, we saw Kinder Carmouche go to the lead earlier at Aqueduct, and he might have the opportunity to do that here with Captain Frost as well, the 5.
Yeah, I've got him on top in this race. And listen, he won an $8,000 claiming race, and this is obviously a tougher spot. But one thing about trainer Linda Rice, when her horses get in good form and she is aggressive with them, that's the time you want to bet her. You don't want to bet Linda's horses when they're going the wrong way and she's dropping them. In this case, he ran well enough that he has a chance to win, but based on the way this track has been playing, Richie, I got to think his speed is dangerous.
Yeah, I think you want to be involved. This horse is definitely one of the speeds, if not the main speed. And I agree with you. When Linda steps her horses up, it's because they're showing her to have confidence.
24% coming in off a win, Linda Rice. Here's more speed to the outside. Yankee Division, gate to wire win last time out for Rudy Rodriguez.
I don't like this horse at all. His last win was in the snow on a track that was extremely kind of speed. And we saw the second-place finisher come back at a short price, not run a step, even off a Jason Service claim. I don't like him.
All right, we'll get back here to Aqueduct momentarily. Again, our cross-country pick 5. It begins with this race right here in the 8th at Tampa Bay Downs. It is a mile and an 1/8 on the turf. Hope again. 6-time winner on the turf from 13 starts is our 2-1 favorite to 3.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, it does feel like there's a number of different things going on in this race, and these races are tough at Tampa. This kicks off the cross-country pick 5. This will be the first leg, and the Aqueduct race obviously will be after it, Richie.
Absolutely great turf course at Tampa. It's like a billiard table. They do a great job with it.
Well, you see a lot of trainers, Chad Brown, Christophe Clement, Bill Mott, different trainers will ship over horses from the East Coast, and they would prefer to run this course at Tampa. We saw Digital Age, who won stake races, won as a top 3-year-old on the turf, break his maiden here last year for Chad Brown, and I think the trainers really prefer this course.
Yeah, well, it doesn't take as much racing as the course at Gulfstream, where they're racing so many turf races on it. It gets a lot more cut in it. This is a true turf course, got a great knit to it, and horses seem to get very comfortable over it.
Listen, Tampa, I don't think there's too many tracks that have done a better job, if not as good a job as Tampa's done, to really raise their profile over the last, what would you say, 5 to 10 years?
Great atmosphere for racing there. Absolutely.
Yeah, like to head
Helps
down
that
there.
they have a lot of beautiful weather, too.
Weather is always a good factor, but they do a nice job, and it's a track that's done a good job. It's not an upper echelon track, and a track that a lot of people talked about. A lot of people play this track in the winter, and that's really a credit to the job they've done.
And again, next week, we're going to have, as Lafitte said earlier in the show, Tampa Bay Derby, and Chance It, who was supposed to go in the Fountain of Youth today, we will see in that spot next week.
Better draw well. And Independence Hall's not going there. He's pointing, I read, to the Florida Derby. I read that today.
Okay.
Interesting.
Against Tis the Law. That should be some race, huh?
Ooh.
And Dennis's Moment, perhaps. Though I wonder if Dale may end up going to the Bluegrass.
Hope
the draw
again.
Of Keeneland.
The 3 is our favorite here to kick off this cross-country pick 5 from Tampa Bay. Here's Richard Grunder.
Battle at 1 mile and 1/8 over a perfectly maintained turf course. They're at the post. And they're off. On a rock. Broken early, up on the outside, there goes Small Hope. Now moving to challenge, and Hope again drops over to the rail. Up on the far outside, Patty O'Dini tries to get over, as well as Bourbon Extension from the far outside. Those two going on with it, and the last horse away is Fast Fire as they sort themselves out under the wire for the first time. Patty O'Dini gets over nicely and now taken in hand, has the lead by 3. Domain is there toward the rail, racing second. Bourbon Extension is third, and Quality Step takes the worst of it, is carried wide on the outside now to be 4th. Then it's 2.5 lengths farther back to Hope Again, now racing along 5th. Small Hope to the outside 6th. Then we go back to the Fairgrounds Invader on a rock. 2 lengths farther back to Proquester, and the trailer is Fast Fire. 10 lengths from front to back. Up the back stretch, the gray horse. Patty O'Dini takes them along on the lead, 3/4 of a length. Quality Step moves up on the outside now to be second. Bourbon Extension is now racing along 3rd. 1 length farther back, Domain remains toward the rail, now 4th. Hope Again is up on the outside 5th. He's now being asked to pick it up as they leave the half-mile marker. Patty O'Dini and Garcia trying to take him start to finish. Quality Step continues to badger second. 3 lengths farther back, there goes the favorite Hope Again, and Camacho has him running 3rd. On a Rock is also gaining ground and picking off horses one by one. They turn for home. Quality Step up on the outside, strikes to the lead. Patty O'Dini battles back toward the rail. Here comes Domain, and way out on the outside, it's On a Rock. He's absolutely flying. Inside the final furlong, Bourbon Extension now driving to the lead. On a Rock to the outside. Hope Again. They'll come to the wire. 3 across the track from between horses. Looks like Hope Again in a 3-horse photo.
I was surprised. I thought Bourbon Extension had a really good chance to get the lead and win this race. It does not happen. He wins it anyway.
And determinedly, he was in between horses fighting for it. Just a great race. Turf racing, so entertaining.
Daniel Centeno aboard for Michael Wright as we check in with Maggie Wolfendale back here at Aqueduct.
As they're about to load in the gate here, I want to check in with Freaky Styley, who will face winners for the first time. As he comes off about a 2-month break, he comes in here sharp, though. I know you guys stating that last time he probably just took advantage of being the best horse and went to the lead, but he was really on the muscle throughout the time in the paddock and out on the racetrack, so I wouldn't be surprised if he is close here once again. Now, Captain Frosty does look like one of the fastest horses. He got a really nice warm-up beneath Kendrick Carmouche, moving very nicely out in the track. I probably liked him a bit more watching him warm up than what I did in the paddock. Then finally, number 1, I thought Beach Access might sit the right kind of trip as he finished behind Next Time Out winner Play right here. He's one that when he gets really wound up, he doesn't run his race, and he was when he first walked into the paddock, but then he completely chilled out, had a very quiet warm-up. We'll see what kind of trip he pulls here, Greg, as last one's going in.
John Imbrial with the call. Here's race 7, Aqueduct.
And they're off. It's Captain Frost who is sent out for the early lead. On the outside is a Mystical Song. And on the extreme outside, that's a Yankee Division as they race up the chute. High Command is next in 4th with Quintarelli running in 5th. Then we come back to Irish Valor. They've made the crossover now to the main track, and it is a battle up front. Captain Frost on the inside and Yankee Division on the outside. The two of them have opened up a half-dozen lengths on Mystical Song in 3rd. High Command runs in 4th. Beach Access advances at the rail from 5th, and it's Quintarelli in 6th, followed by Irish Valor in 7th. Freaky Styley is 8th at this point, and the trailer is Run for Boston. They hit the half-mile pole after a quarter in 23-3 and an opening half in 47-1. Captain Frost on the inside and Yankee Division on the outside. They continue to battle it out as they go around the far turn. It's almost 4 lengths to Beach Access, who continues to gain at the rail. Mystical Song is alongside. Then it's Quintarelli and High Command. They have closed in on those front runners. On the outside, here comes Mystical Song now. Quintarelli is down towards the rail, and Beach Access is there. 3/4 went in 1:14-2. It is Mystical Song on the outside. Yankee Division continues to battle on. Quintarelli down at the rail. Beach Access out in the middle of the track as they come down for the 16th pole. It is Quintarelli and Run for Boston, who was last, is putting in a tremendous late run. Freaky Styley on the extreme outside. A wild finish here that goes to a photo finish with Run for Boston and the late charging Freaky Styley. Was it the long shot Run for Boston, or was it the 9-5 second choice Freaky Styley?
I think Freaky Styley might have got this win. He looked completely uninvolved early. What a late charge.
He was a little bit awkward on the backside. Something odd happened. He wound up very wide, and then when he settled, he came running. This is very close late. We're going to see.
No, I think
the inside got him by
I
a
think
nose.
the long shot Run for Boston. I'll tell you something. You look at this pick 5. Well, we saw it 3-1. No, we saw it prices. This horse got to be a huge price.
Huge price. Dylan Davis, if he got there, gets his 3rd win of the day, fighting it out between horses. Watch now. He's going to shift out while Freaky Styley had to go very wide. So he saved ground, came out between horses. When he hits the front, watch his ears. They go completely straight like he thinks the race is over. Right here, he's intense. He's fighting. He's between horses. You could see his demeanor. As soon as he pops his head in front of these horses, watch his ears go straight up. At least that's what it appeared for the long shot.
Yeah, it's funny. You can see it, yeah.
They start going up. He thinks the race is over. You see Dylan kind of trying to keep his attention. Look at his ear straight forward there. That's when a horse stops running because they think they've done their job.
Let me
17-1 if it is the 3.
Let me say something else. I didn't like the 9 at all in this race. I was completely wrong. I mean, he ran an unbelievable race, finishing in just a photo. Where did he get beaten? About 3/4 of a length for all the money? I mean, the horse he dueled with, who I liked, Captain Frost, I think he got beaten 100 lengths. The 9 ran a remarkable race.
He ran a remarkable race. The 4 might have got that last bob. It's all about where the nose is on the wire. It was very, very tight. The very last step. This is very, very close. Closer than I thought it was the first time.
The 3-1, Richie.
I don't bet.
Boy, Richie's nose just grew about 6 feet.
Yeah, looking at it again, I'm just
telling
about
you,
always
close.
wrong.
Well, here it is.
By the way.
This one we'll know.
Watch right here.
Ooh, you may be right, Richie. Good call. Very good call. You may be right. That is close. Could be a heater.
That could be a heater.
They're showing the 4.
No.
No. You were right, Richie. Good call.
He got that very last
tough
little
beat if you bet the 3. You know what, though? This horse did have a trip. What? What?
Well, I did call Freaky Styley at the wire, but
you
go ahead and credit Mig.
You did.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Everybody, Greg Wolf called the photo correctly. Once again,
you don't understand.
Adding to my plethora of bad calls
You don't
today.
understand.
I missed it.
I have never called a photo correctly in my life. This is a monumental achievement
This is
here.
a great moment. There's a camera crew coming up right now. I see a number of people bringing flowers over.
9-5, by the way. He did not go off your favorite, second choice. He had a lot of work to do. He looked completely out of it midway through this race.
He was the best of the 2 that were in the photo.
He was. The 9, given the way the race was run and the pace and everything, that was some performance by the 9, making him 8-5. They didn't win, but they may have been right.
Meanwhile, back at Gulfstream in the Davona Dale, heavy favorite Spice is Nice defeated in the second start of her career. Let's go to Lafitte Pinkai.
Second place finish for Spice is Nice in the Davona Dale. Jockey John Velasquez here. Johnny, what was the biggest difference today between her 12-length debut win and her runner-up effort
Well,
today?
she had to step up definitely today. You know, obviously with a much seasoned horse, and I think she still ran really well. I don't know if you guys can tell, she jumped every shadow in the backstretch, every pole that we went, and she jumped it. She kind of always, every time she jumped, she kind of lose her momentum going, and did it in every pole. So still was a good effort.
Is that something that you've noticed with these young developing horses? Is that something she can overcome and still be as brilliant as many think she is?
No, absolutely. I mean, obviously we probably have to put a little bit equipment on her, put a big shadow roll. Maybe she doesn't see that the shadows are so much, and hopefully she can put pay more attention to it.
Thanks for the time, Johnny.
Thanks.
All right. Guys?
Shotsky still to come for Johnny V. Speedster in the Fountain of Youth. With some of that speed taken out of the mix, would chance it a scratch, opting instead for the Tampa Bay Derby next week. Up next, though, Grade 3 Canadian Turf. We'll set the stage for that one when we return on America's Day at the Races. Stay tuned.
Undefeated Grade 1 winner Mastery won impressively in his 2-year-old debut at Santa Anita. From there, he captured the Grade 3 Bob Hope Stakes and completed his juvenile campaign with a dominant performance in the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Futurity. At 3, the top-rated son of Candy Ride sizzled in the San Felipe. Now, his much-anticipated first crop are bringing top dollar in the sales ring. Mastery, standing at Claiborne Farm.
And they're off. 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Master horse racing with the power of daily racing form. DRF has helped players win at the races for 125 years. Now the information you trust is better than ever. Get exclusive late-breaking news from our reporters at tracks across the country. Position yourself to win by adding Buyer speed figures and the new DRF formulator to your handicapping arsenal. Go to drf.com/NYRA today. Use coupon code DRF2020 to get a free formulator card and start winning.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
Back on America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports 2. It's brought to you in part by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Some great shots there from legendary Claiborne. And we head back to Gulfstream. What's that?
Go to Claiborne. I'm going out of Keeneland in April.
Are you?
Yeah, let's visit.
Great day to visit Claiborne. Just the sense of history there is just amazing.
Yep. You're going to visit stall number 1?
I actually am try to get into stall number 1, see if I can run happy out of there for a couple of years.
Grade 3 Canadian turf. We saw Hey Dakota go by. Here's Caribou Club, Tom Proctor, Glen Hill Farm.
This horse ran uncharacteristically poorly last time.
Krampus, 24-1 long shot off the claim from Michael Tomlinson. And here's Embry, Mike Maker.
He also ran poorly in the same race the 2 did, Caribou Club.
Sombaye, he won as a 2-year-old on dirt in the Sanford at Saratoga. Now they're trying to make him a turf horse.
I think he's a big player. His last race was very, very good.
Jemontier, Speedster, 50-1.
Long shot.
Mr. Dumas, Mike Maker taking over training duties.
My top pick switching over to Mike Maker first time out.
And a grade 3 winner in the past. Actually put together back-to-back wins late last year as we look at English B. Javier Castellano, Grand Motion.
Nice horse, needs to get faster.
Guido is very quick, 5-1 with John Velasquez.
Very quick, and it's not facing the kind of heat he was facing last time. He could get loose on the lead where I think he's most effective.
Joe Bravo, he's on Louder Than Bombs for David Fox, coming out of the Prairie Bayou on synthetic at Turfway. Here's the 11, Musical Heart. Big price at 28-1. Does have a victory on the turf. And then Flying Scotsman, 17-1 right now, Florent Giroux.
Yeah, another needs to get a little faster. Has some speed, but a tough post.
Favorite? The 5 horse at 7-2 on the board. Sombaye standing by with the connections. Let's go to Acacia Courtney.
I'm joined by Jack Wolf, Starlight Racing, talking about Sombaye. And Jack, the first question I wanted to ask, where did the decision to try this horse on the turf come from? Because he's been very good on the grass.
He couldn't run on the dirt. Anyway, in the Hall of Fame, Todd was searching on, what the best surface and distance, and he got beat by a head or a nose or whatever up in Saratoga, and we felt really positive that that's the distance and the surface, and he got hurt in that race, and here he is back 6 months later, and ran a good second last time, so here we are.
Does the fact that he ran well on this track here at Gulfstream give you more confidence coming into a big race like this?
I always have confidence. No, he ran a good race, and he got beat by a horse that really ran a good race and was longer odds than ours, but and I think he's in this race, so hopefully we can beat him.
Jack, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck today.
Always good to see you.
4-1 is your favorite right now. It's a wide open betting race. He ran huge last summer in the Hall of Fame at Saratoga.
He did, but I really think he took a step forward last time out because he was right on top of a wicked, wicked pace in that race. And he actually was in the lead, and others were so aggressive that I thought that Luis Saez did a good job, but he had to get him to rate.
We mentioned Freaky Styley got the win, right?
Richie thought he got it. You had no idea, and I was wrong as usual.
$5.70 for Freaky Styley in a thriller in the 7th at Aqueduct.
And that was the second leg of the cross-country Big Five. Tampa was the first.
Thank you. Meanwhile, Starting off that cross-country pick 5, Hope Again, $5.60.
Yeah.
Good. Any one of 8 horses could have won that race on the turf.
And the favorite
Tampa.
wins, right?
Yeah.
The favorite wins.
At the 8th hole, it was wide open.
You could feel there's a lot of people that use 6 in that race. They're going, I had to get the favorite home. They're all there at the wire together.
No, that was another wire job. I thought Bourbon Extension got that one. Hope Again, though, gets the job done, the morning line favorite.
Is that another photo you called wrong?
I did call it wrong.
You're man enough to admit it.
I told you. It was a big achievement for me. So we're taking a look at the 9, 4-1 on Guido. Mig, you mentioned the great speed he has. I mean, this horse went up against some big tests last summer, including the Grade 1 4-star Dave.
Yeah, and he's a horse, I think, that's most comfortable when he gets the lead and can relax a little bit. Last time, Johnny had to kind of try to rate him a little bit because there was a lot of other speed. There's some speed in here, but not the kind of speed he's been facing.
I agree with every bit of that, Richie, and think he's dangerous. He ran very well last time out. At times he's run well. It felt like his form kind of eluded him later last year, but he got back to his good form at Gulfstream.
Look right there at Embry, Mike Maker, as we head back to Hallandale Beach and check in with Lafitte and Acacia.
Yeah, this is the race Jason Service really wanted to win today, right? And that's a $20 million Saudi Cup, $20 million victory, maximum security. Incredible. Hey Dakota, though, is who he has in the Canadian Turf Stakes. Really improved since being claimed by Jason Service, having won 2 of his last 3.
Oh, absolutely, and it's been an okay day for him. You're absolutely right about that. At Hey Dakota, Paco Lopez aboard, who's been riding this turf course fantastically well today. I think that's going to be a key as well. This horse got the win over Sambaye and a couple of others from some of his recent races. He is used to winning and running well on this track, and he's going to get a nice trip.
He loses Irad Ortiz. You said Paco Lopez riding this turf course really well, but Irad considered the best turf rider on this colony, maybe in North America. We'll see. Sambaye, defeated by Hey Dakota in his last start, but probably needed that race.
Yeah, I think he did, and I loved what Jack Wolf said to me just a few moments ago. I asked him where the switch to turf came, and he said, well, he couldn't run on the dirt. And so I think that was definitely a plus, and I like him physically sticking with the turf. I thought it was a very good building block race for him last time. And this is a huge race. But honestly, he deserves to be the favorite in this spot. Tactically, he should be at an advantage as well.
Wide open 4-1 favorite. There you're looking at Embry, number 4 make it, currently 7-1. He's better than that Tampa Bay Stakes. That poor, just dull. Was that just rust?
No, he was so wide in that race at a couple of points as well. And there are some horses that I think just maybe he didn't handle the Tampa turf course. I really think it was a too bad to be true type of effort. He runs well here at Gulfstream. Looking at him physically today, he looks probably the best I've seen him in a while. He was dappled out from head to toe. Tyler Gaffleone going to be up as well. And even just looking at his race in the Canadian turf last year where he was beat by Krampus, who's also in this race, he came running late. Speed has been really good on the turf, so that's going to be his thing he has to overcome today.
Now there's number 2 Caribou Club in the Glen Hill Farm colors. Now, he also inexplicably ran poorly in the Tampa Bay Stakes, but you can't give him the excuse of rust in a layoff.
Yeah, no, you certainly can't. He was well beaten that day and had been very good prior to that. Now, I will say his graded stakes recently have not been as sharp as they were back in 2018. He's a 6-year-old gelding now by City Zip. He did Paddock School here at Gulfstream the other day, so he's been getting acclimated to South Florida.
Key to the pace, number 6, Gemontier. All right, if he goes out and wings and locks up with Guido, both of them are going to pay the price. What do you think the strategy is this afternoon? And the point being is that depending on how aggressively he's ridden earlier, really going to affect the race shape and pace.
It absolutely is, and we saw Cheermeister get loosed on the lead earlier. I don't think that's what's going to happen in this race with the presence of Gemontier and Guido. And I had spoken to Jenna Antonucci after this horse's last race, and she said, look, the speed is our best weapon. So what are you going to do when you have a horse that is so good on the front end? He kind of has to send.
So you think he lets it rip?
I think he's got to. I think he's going to. I don't think this is the type of horse that can effectively rate.
So then what does that mean for number 9, Guido, star jockey John Velasquez, coming off that second place finish in the Davona Dale 25 minutes ago? If he gets pressured and hounded, usually it doesn't wind up positive results for Guido.
He ran really well, though, last time when Jamontir faded and he was able to hold the pace. And I spoke to Todd Pletcher about him yesterday, and he said he hopes he relaxes. He said he's a very tricky horse to ride. Johnny rides him well, and he's able to get him to settle in the early part of the race. And that's the key for this horse. He, I think, has really developed a lot recently. He's got a lot of speed as well, but he hasn't lately been running off like he was when he was younger.
Yeah, guys, you get Kentucky Derby post-time favorites at 4-1. Wide open, this Canadian Turf Stakes as they still on the main track. They'll cross over to the turf course in a moment.
Yeah, Lafitte, thanks. It's a great betting race. And, you know, we were talking about this race, and we've seen Guido quite a bit. We saw him last summer. He is very quick.
He is. I understand what Acacia's saying, and she's not wrong. The 6 is a need-to-lead type horse. And obviously, they could go into a drive and keep up. But I think we all agree here that Guido is just naturally a much faster horse.
He's faster. If they go on a mission and they come out, in a drive, they can be a thorn in Guido's side. But Guido is drawn outside of him, so hopefully Johnny can let him sneak into the race the right way. I just don't think there's quality speed to bother Guido this time. I like the 2. Caribou Club. He's a 6-year-old, and I think as horses get older, they do need a race to shake the ring rust off.
That's possible. And he and Hembry are kind of married in here, right? Because both he and Hembry come out of that race at Tampa, and they both had good trips. Both Caribou Club was too wide. He didn't lose much ground. Hembry was a little outside in the second turn. They both sort of ran the same race. And here's my question for you. Aren't you better off taking almost twice the price, or 7-1 on Hembry, who's got some very good back races, than 9-2 on Caribou Club? They both did the same thing last time, right?
Well, again, I think that's a very fair thing. The thing that made me lead towards the 2 Caribou Club was that Fergal Lynch gets aboard, and I feel like this horse runs really well for Fergal Lynch. And sometimes it doesn't matter, but this is a bit of a tricky horse. You see he runs with somewhat of an extension blinker on the outside, so he does have some quirks to him. And sometimes a rider and a horse just hit it off, and I think this horse performs best for Fergal Lynch.
And I think the point you're getting to, and we're talking about here, is there's so many different ways to go here. And Lafitte was talking about the favorite 4-1. That's why, because you can make cases for 6 or 7 of these, and logical cases.
No question. And among them, Guido, who's coming out of the Grade 3 Tropical Turf, trying to get a Grade 3 here as well for Pletcher, with the Hall of Famer John Velasquez aboard as they continue to load up. We're going to bring you Oaklawn when we are done here. Of course, more coming up as well from Aqueduct.
Can I give a little love to Mr. Dumas quickly?
Please do.
First time for Mike Maker. He was an improving 3-year-old at the end of the year. If he takes another step forward, I thought he could be a player. He can be close enough the pace, and my man Manny Franco has the mount.
He's the youngster of this group, the 4-year-old making his 4-year-old debut today. The 7-horse, Mr. Dumas, now in the Mike Maker barn as we go to Pete Aiello, Grade 3 Canadian Turf.
Jamontir. Jamontir with new colors today. Now sports the blue and red colors of Fred Rosen. As we await Flying Scotsman and Florent Giroux to complete the line. Wide open betting board in the start of a late pick 4. Flying Scotsman's ready. Almost. Now he backs away. Flying Scotsman walks up and in. Ready this time, all set for the 11th. And then Flying Scotsman backed away before they could get the stall door shut, so we'll try it a third time. Gates closed now, ready for the Canadian Turf. And they're off in the Canadian Turf. Great start. From between horses, Gadou and Sombaye, the first 2 to get underway. Here's Jamontir moving to challenge, and Musical Heart from the top shelf working over. Widest of all goes Flying Scotsman. He'll be 4 deep while working over as Gadou takes charge. It's Gadou on top by 2. Jamontir second. Flying Scotsman is third. At the inside, Sombaye is now 4th. Musical Heart is 5th. On hold while 6th. That's Mr. Dumas. He's a length in front of an outside running English B. Next at the inside goes Hey Dakota. A gap of 2 to Caribou Club together with Krampus, 3 more to Hembry, and Louder Than Bombs is last of all as Gadoo is running off. Gadoo and Johnny V, aggressive early, 21-4 for a quarter speed. He's off the lead by 6 or 7. Jamontier will have to rate his own trip while racing in second. Sombaye is third. Up on the outside and now fourth is Flying Scotsman. Looking for room is Hey Dakota. Splitting horses is Mr. Dumas out wide on the course in Musical Heart. Then it's a length and a half to Caribou Club, who races inside of English B, trying to get a rally going as this leader is still well clear. Hembry is launching a bid, so is Louder Than Bombs, and Krampus gets shuffled to back, and Gadoo threatens to blow it wide open. Gadoo has gone super quick. He's got to get tired, but he's still 5 in front. They start to reel him in now with Sombaye and Louder Than Bombs from last under a full head of steam, and they're at the top of the stretch. Gadoo is in front, but his strides are indeed shortening. Here's Sombaye and Hey Dakota, Louder Than Bombs in English B. 1/8 of a mile to go. Sombaye rising to the occasion and moving clear. On the outside in Hey Dakota with Louder Than Bombs in English B. The 54th Canadian turf to Sombaye. Sombaye won it from English B second in 1:32.2.
Sombaye gets his first win on turf. Todd Pletcher, Flavian Pratt, Starlight Racing.
Got a great trip, but he was the first mover into this wicked pace. Nice job by him. And I got to tell you something. Keto ran some race, given the pace he was setting out there.
He runs lights out every time. He really lays the body down. And when I see him run, you know what? He makes me think of that 6.5 down the hill at Santa Anita that they don't run anymore.
Yeah.
He'd be the perfect horse for that race.
Yeah, he ran a gutsy race. But Sombaye, he's really blossomed for Todd and a perfect trip for Flavian Pratt. I guess it'll give him a little bit of confidence going forward, riding Dennis's Moment for the first time today.
All right, we're going to show you the 6th at Oaklawn. It happened just a few moments ago. Odds-on favorite, Irish Mischief, Brad Cox, Joe Talamo, coming out of the American Beauty. Wound up second to Special Relativity on that occasion. Looked to be the one to beat by a mile. In this spot at 6 furlongs, Vic Stauffer with the call.
They're at the post. They're off. Liz's Cable Girl and Raintree Starlet with Classy Act and 3 chords. Peruvian Appeal and Headland are next. Then Irish Mischief, and the trailer is Caliente Candy. Raintree Starlet, the leader up the backstretch from Classy Act. It's a half length to 3 chords. Peruvian Appeal and Liz's Cable Girl together 4th and 5th and 2.5 lengths off the lead. Headland is next. Irish Mischief has chosen an outside path. She moves up outside of Headland, now 4 from the front, and Caliente Candy is the trailer. They round the far turn. Raintree Starlet and Classy Act. Raintree Starlet half ahead. Classy Act right alongside in second. 3 chords is third. Peruvian Appeal 4 wide and 4th and 2 from the front. Headland and Irish Mischief are together. Irish Mischief is under the whip at the top of the stretch. She's just been joined by Caliente Candy. Doesn't look like today's the day for Irish Mischief as 3 chords has taken over the lead. Raintree Starlet, Classy Act, Caliente Candy in the center. Peruvian Appeal and even Headland. 6 come to the wire. 3 chords just in front. Classy Act, Peruvian Appeal, Headland, Raintree Starlet. Classy Act wins. Classy Act beat Peruvian Appeal. Headland might have been third. And then 3 across the track for minor awards. Caliente Candy, Raintree Starlet, and 3 chords.
Classy Act. Joe Sharpbarn picks up the 4th win of her career. 5-year-old by Into Mischief as we are back in New York. And post-parade here for the 8th as we look at Dynamax Prime, 8-1 with Kendrick Carmouche.
I don't think this horse is impossible in here. We'll see how much pace, and the mile and 5/16 distance could be the big equalizer here, Richie.
Yeah, Bernardini, mile and 5/16 here coming up as we continue to look at Dynamax Prime. Here's Ectobar, Michael Tenuzzo, and has speed.
Horse that has speed warming up without the pony, that always indicates to me that they're going to allow a horse to use their speed.
Armament has gone from barn to barn to barn to barn now with Eddie Barker.
I think he's the biggest speed threat to the speed Leotonin here, and we'll see how aggressive he is. He does seem like an unlikely winner, though, on paper.
Long shot specialist trainer Uriah St. Louis. He sends out Adventist, 8-5 favorite.
Been closing at shorter distances. Should appreciate the mile and 5/16 because he has won at a mile and a half.
He tried to tackle Mr. Buff in the Jazzle last time out. Here's Laytone. Jason Service was the morning line favorite.
You know, he's faced some good company, and he met better horses last time out, including the talented Sir Winston. I don't know about the distance, and I'm wondering if one of the 4 or 5 will put too much pressure on him early.
Bluegrass Cats Smile, Gary Siaka, that one off the claim.
Yeah, and he's stepping up big time in company.
Gary's having a big winner, though.
heavy roller. Rob Atras on the outside.
He's been in good form. I just wonder about the distance for him. Distance is a big question for a lot of these. You don't see too many mile and 5/16 races outside of Saint-Cloud in Paris.
Jason Service. Nice reference.
I got it all going on today,
You
Greg.
do.
I
You really do.
I brought my A game. I brought a show for the MIG.
5-2 on Laytone for the man who won the Saudi Cup earlier today. Dylan Davis having a big afternoon.
Having a big
another
afternoon.
horse with speed.
Another horse with speed. That's the key, though, how much pressure he's going to get from the inside. This horse certainly kept some good company. Sir Winston, a Belmont Stakes winner, Mr. Buff, who just won the stake by 20 lengths against New York Breds.
You know, I didn't like this horse at all last time, and even though he lost at a relatively short price, I actually think he ran very well. Because, first of all, Sir Winston ran. And Sir Winston is clearly an improving horse. You know, I don't know what he's going to do in Dubai, and I don't think his running style is going to really be complimented over there. But even the horse who was second, Musical America, he's a horse who's really improved for trainer Rob Atras. And this was a gutty effort. The thing about him is those big races like that 104 Buyer, that was a big inside speed track. Same with some of his other races, and he's done it in very advantageous situations. I worry about one of the 4 or 5 being aggressive. I see Sammy Camacho on the 5 and Eddie Barker, and I think they're going. They're not rating.
He's shown, Mig, the ability, though, to sit and not have to have the lead.
He doesn't have to have the lead, and at least he is drawn outside the other speed, so that gives him a luxury. Now, look at the run they have from the starting gate to the first turn. A lot of sorting out is going to happen in that first 3/16 of a mile.
2 minutes to post in the Bernardini. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
And they are warming up on the track here, guys, as kind of a unique start to this race at the top of the stretch here on the Aqueduct main track for this mile and 5/16. As I'll take a look at a horse on the outside, that's number 9, Heavy Roller. Just kind of going by what I saw in the paddock, he was the one who impressed me the most. Really walked in with that confident demeanor, just looking as though he possesses great flesh overall. One of 2 Rob Atras' horses. I like him the best over the 2, including Dynamax Prime, but he's just the one that, too, struck me as, while he's going to go the farthest he's ever run in his career, really looks as though he should be able to handle this distance and does look to sit a nice kind of trip behind the speeds. Now, one that is the speed and should be a long shot in here, that's number 4, Ectobar. Now, granted, he did just ship up from Florida, so he should look good in his coat and flesh, but to be fair, the last time I saw this horse was in the summer, and he looks 10 times better than what I'd seen then. He usually would wash out and get very nervous, and he did not do any of that today. Like I said, he is a need-the-lead type of horse, or he runs his best races when he can control. He doesn't look as though he's going to be able to do that with the presence of Laytone and Armament in here, but still really looks fantastic as he does make his first start for trainer Mike Tonuzzo, who's experiencing a very nice winter here, Greg.
Maggie, thank you. 9-1 on Ectobar. We'll see if he can use that speed to his advantage here. Want to remind everyone, test your handicapping skills either on track, at Aqueduct, or online with Naira Bets for the Gotham Challenge March 7th. $500 buy-in with cash prizes, 2 2021 NHC spots, and a seat in the Belmont Stakes Challenge, all up for grabs. Get registered now at naira.com/challenge as we take a look at Adventist, 8-5 favorite, 7-year-old son of Any Given Saturday.
The feeling with him is he's the one horse in here that you're not at all concerned with distance. You know that he's going to get it. He's got a grinding style that's supposed to make him tough. He's been facing some better fields. In fairness, his last race, all he did was pick up the pieces, though, behind Mr. Buff. His Queens County 2 back when he almost won, he also got a fast pace to close into. I did pick him on top in here, but he's got a little bit of a sucker feel to him, right, Richie? Sort of the deep closer in a race with some speed. A horse to beat, but I'm not sold.
Well, but the speed's got to show up. I mean, the speed I see on paper, you hope you see on the racetrack.
Yep. Adventist the favorite to 6. He's going to be far back early. It's the Bernardini. Here's John Imbrial with the call.
And they're off. Laytone was away well. Ectobar down towards the inside as the field comes past us for the first time. And Ectobar will take the early advantage. Laytone's on the outside in second. Dynamax Prime runs in third. On the outside is Bluegrass Cat Smile now moving up. And then it's Armament, Heavy Roller, and Adventist will be the early trailer in 7th as they move into the clubhouse turn. Long shot Ectabar is on top here, and the quarter was run in 24 and 4/5 seconds. Laytoni is next in 2nd. Bluegrass Cat Smile on the outside in 3rd, and Dynamax Prime saves ground down at the rail in 4th. Then comes Armament in those white blinkers running in 5th. Heavy Roller to his outside. It's another 5 or 6 lengths. Back to Adventist, who has a lot to do here as the field reaches the back stretch. Still a long way to go. Ectabar is the leader here by almost 2, with Laytoni tracking in 2nd, and on the outside is Bluegrass Cat Smile in 3rd. It's 3 lengths to Dynamax Prime. In between horses there is Armament. Heavy Rollers on the outside. A half dozen lengths back to Adventist as the field continues up the back stretch. Ectabar challenged here by Laytoni. Laytoni has a head in front. Ectabar is down at the rail. Bluegrass Cat Smile is on the outside as they begin the run into the far turn, and it's 3 of them across. Laytoni in between, Bluegrass Cat Smile on the outside, Ectabar down at the rail. 3.5 lengths to a Dynamax Prime who's racing in 4th. Then Heavy Roller. Adventist begins to pick it up now, has moved into 6th. And the trailer is Armament. As the field comes for the top of the stretch, Ectabar's dropped out of it. It's Laytoni and Bluegrass Cat Smile. Adventist continues to move on the extreme outside as the field comes into the stretch. It is Bluegrass Cat Smile and Laytoni. Adventist is now in 3rd with 1/8 of a mile to the finish. Bluegrass Cat Smile is in front. On the outside, Adventist, a 16th to the finish. Bluegrass Cat Smile trying to hang in there. Adventist with one last charge, and Adventist has the momentum and is going to win the Bernardini from way out of it. Adventist takes it over Bluegrass Cat Smile.
From last to first, Adventist as the 2-1 post time favorite for trainer Uriah St. Louis. 7-year-old wins for the 6th time in his career.
Timed it right, Richie. Tough beat for the 2nd place finisher. I thought Bluegrass Cat Smile ran very well, but the old pro Adventist, who I think was he 2nd or 3rd in our Wood Memorial? He almost won the Wood Memorial. I think 3rd in it, right?
That I don't remember, but, you know, he's a horse that's very long-winded. The distance certainly played into his hands. Looked like for one point in the middle of the stretch he was going to hang a little bit. They give a lot of credit to Gary Siaka off the claim with Bluegrass Cat Smile. This horse ran giant.
I agree. No, and, you know, Gary Siaka has had a sensational winter. His horses have really been running well, and he's making the most of the opportunities. And I agree, it's an improving horse, but he clearly liked the distance, and a great job by Gary.
And also, let's give a little love here to John Bisono to ride a horse that's a big favorite, doesn't ride a lot in New York, to be that far back and be as cool as he was. Credit all around.
A lot of work there, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Uriah St. Louis, who trains the mighty Discreet Lover, is that his?
Yeah.
The horse who won the
45-1 upsetter.
Yep. Good for him.
Sombaye gets his first win on turf. Todd Pletcher, Flavian Pratt, Starlight Racing, winner of the Grade 3 Canadian Turf after just missing last summer in the Grade 2 Hall of Fame against Casa Creek.
Yeah, no, he's really improved. And, yeah, you know, I thought he ran very well here because this race was totally falling apart in a lot of ways, and he did make the first move. A nice effort by him.
Dead heat for 3rd, by the way, between Hey Dakota and Louder Than Bombs.
Did you call that one, Greg?
I did not.
Okay, just checking.
I'm 1 for 1 on a day.
Because Richie whispered to me, I think there could be a dead heat here.
But if I did, I'm sure you'd credit Mig for it. Sombaye, $9.40 for the win. Gulfstream Park Mile, Grade 2. Coming up next, High Call returning for the 2nd start of his 4-year-old campaign, and Mr. Freeze. Last time he ran at a mile, he was a Grade 3 winner at Churchill Downs. We'll have it for you when we come back on America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports 2. Stick with us.
It's very exciting to see them come on out and performing and look just like him, hat like him, sleep and eat like Run Happy. They're pretty nice horses. Right now they're fast and working, and it's exciting to see when they go out running.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than America'sBestRacing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues. Cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. America's best racing is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. New members earn up to a $200 deposit match with promo code Big A at NairaBets.com.
Back on America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports 2, our show brought to you in part by the champion sprinter. Gulfstream Park Mile, that is next. Grade 2, we'll talk all about it when we come back.
Warfront. This son of Danzig ranks among the world's elite sires, with Grade 1 winners on dirt and turf, and star performers both at home and abroad. Warfront's success as an international super sire is unmatched. Recent Grade 1 winners include Omaha Beach and Preakness Stakes hero War of Will. In the auction ring, Warfront was the #1 sire by highest average at Keeneland September, with yearlings commanding prices up to $2.9 million. Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Run Happy is simply super. He polishes off an outstanding campaign with a dominant victory in the Malibu.
No medication, no problem. Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports 2, our graded stakes action continues from Gulfstream Park and the Grade 2. Gulfstream Park Mile coming up next. Mr. Freeze, 5-2 favorite on the board. Again, the last time he ran at this mile distance, he was a graded stakes winner at Churchill Downs. Let's check in with Lafitte Pinkai.
Karen McLaughlin with High Call going in his Gulfstream Park Mile. Karen, he was on the Kentucky Derby Trail last year. He had to miss the race due to a foot abscess. How might that have benefited High Call in the long run?
Yeah, he's matured. He's done everything right since coming back. He never had surgery, but he just had, some time off and turned into a little more time than we wanted. But he's trained very well, ran great in this comeback race, in New York, just getting beat, and he's training great now.
What is the biggest difference you've noticed from a 4-year-old High Call from what we saw last year?
Yeah, he's just matured a lot, filled out. He's great mentally, does everything right. Hopefully we'll find him in the winner's circle soon.
Biggest race of his career, the Gotham one-turn mile in New York. This is a one-turn mile. How much confidence does that give you, knowing that he can thrive at this trip?
Yeah, that's why we pointed here for this race. A little tougher because speed holds up a little more here, and he's going to become running. He's going to be running late. Hopefully, Rajiv knows him well, and we're looking forward to him getting started.
Best of luck, Kieran.
Thank you very much.
High Call in this Gulfstream Park Mile. Expect him to do his best running from off the pace, and a lot of pace, a lot of heat on paper. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, he is always extremely far back, although here he is. Last time he was much closer to the pace, but it was a very slow pace.
He actually ran well. There's an argument he should have been placed first. They left the winner up, but he hurt him badly. I just like Kieran's other horse.
Well, here's Fat Man, J.K. Sweezy, Javier Castellano, 5-1.
He really ran well last time. He's got to repeat that effort, and the water's a little deeper, but he ran well.
Great appearance as well. Forever Mo, Alexis Delgado. Big price at 60-1. Speed with Zendon, Todd Pletcher.
We'll see. Is he going to be the speed? Is Rare Form going to show more speed today? And he ran well last time in the Fred Hooper as well, the prep.
Dominic Chictino now trains expert. He won 4 in a row for Linda Rice last year.
It's like he got out of witness protection. He was in tremendous form for Linda. You were here for it and saw those races, Greg, and then he disappeared.
Here's the other Kieran McLaughlin you were talking about, True Timber.
I like this horse. I like the cutting back to one turn, and he has run well behind a very good horse in Maxim Security.
Speed with the long shot, Rare Form. He's 20-1. Here's Mr. Freeze, 5-2 favorite.
Yeah, he's fine. He is, in a lot of ways, the horse to beat in here, logically cutting back.
Do share. Norm Cassie trains this 10-time winner.
Yeah, I wonder if a mile, this is a closing spinner that's better a little shorter.
Grade 1 winner of the Woody Stevens last year, Hog Creek Hustle.
Well, if you think there's a lot of pace in here, this is one that will be rolling late.
No question. 5-1 on Hog Creek Hustle. So Mr. Freeze, the favorite, the 9 for Dale Romans. He's coming off that second in the Pegasus World Cup Invitational and really got compromised around that first turn.
Well, once again, right, breaking from that tough post, it's a tough situation to do that. It's a funny race because there looked like there was so much speed in here, and the pace never really materialized, and Mr. Freeze took advantage of that.
Yeah, but he also, though, did get pushed out so wide, trying to go forward.
Going.
Exactly, but he was going forward to get his position.
Yeah, you're right.
So a bit of a slow start cost him in that scenario. He did wind up second behind Mucho Gusto. This obviously at a 1.8 miles, he's going to be shortening up. You think more effective at a mile distance?
We'll see. He's run well enough in those 1.8 miles races. It's not like his figures are any worse going 1.8 miles. I just like that cutback from 2 turns and 9 furlongs to 1 turn. And he's got the speed to stay close, but he's not a need the lead type. So he's just the horse to beat. This is not an easy race, but
and a good draw because he's not going to be forced into the way he was going in the first turn.
Very fair.
Race.
He remains the 5-2 favorite on the board as we go back to Lafitte and Acacia.
Yeah, guys, these races are so much fun. These one-turn miles, you don't know, Acacia could lead to the Met Mile, could lead to the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. You mentioned days ago regarding Mr. Freeze, you wanted to see how he was behaving, how he was acting. What have you noticed?
He has been a bad actor. The last time out before the Pegasus World Cup, he got very hot on track. He was really acting up quite a bit. And I'll be honest, looking at him before the Pegasus, I said I'm considering tossing this horse because he just was not acting well. Today, I would describe him as kind of an angry type. He had his ears pinned in the walking ring. He was bucking a bit. He was really on his toes. He settled a bit more on the track. But if you see him getting more marqueed up, that's typical. And he can clearly still run well, even acting that way.
Like angry good, focused, or angry like you're worried about how it might affect his performance?
He's a high energy type. And the question with those kinds of horses and why it's noteworthy to see how they're acting is that they expend so much energy before the race even begins.
Bodie Express. He could win 3 straight Breeders' Cup Classics, earn 3 straight Horses of the Year, And he'd still be known for the horse that dislodged John Velasquez at the start of the Preakness last year.
He's almost has like a cult following. It's been kind of fun to watch. Now, his Achilles heel is the starting gate. He, in his last couple of races, acted well until he got to the gate, particularly 2 starts back in the Harlan's Holiday, where he really ran his race in the gate, and he was done before he even started. He's acting well today. That's been the key, but watch him when he gets to the starting gate.
Bodie Express currently 7-1. There is a Fat Man. He won the Hooper. He took advantage of another hot pace. He should have another hot pace to work with today.
You know, he was really impressive last time, and I think that Zenden was a big part of that, who's in here again today to try and make the pace even stronger, and that's going to be what we're going to see, I think, in this race. With fair enough, we're going to have a lot of speed. Javier Castellano getting the mount on Fat Man, who was dappled out today, and look, he's been a nice horse for Kent Sweezy.
It is unbelievable, the dominance of Javier Castellano, who's riding Fat Man, John Velasquez, who's riding the speedy Zenden. They have won 8 of the last 14 Gulfstream Park miles. They're the only 2 Hall of Fame riders in this race, and for whatever reasons, we know that they're both regarded as 2 of the best position riders in the game, but they have absolutely dominated here.
It really is just amazing, and I will say that Zenden is a horse that I didn't end up using in here, but I think John Velasquez has made the difference with him because he's been a tricky horse and he's really been elevated to the next level recently. And last time out, Johnny gave him such a strong warm-up before the race. You knew that he was keen on getting to the lead. It hasn't been quite as strong today, but he's definitely a speedy type horse.
Zenden, John Velasquez, Todd Pletcher, how does the pace shape up for him on paper?
Now, that's going to be the tricky part. Bodie Express is fast. Zenden is fast early. There should be plenty of speed, rare form. Even Mr. Freeze has the ability to show a little bit of speed. Now, I think that that's going to be tactically the challenge for Zenden because I haven't seen, and I know that he's done it sprinting at the start of his career, but obviously that was a much softer field coming from off the pace than what he's going to face today.
Number 2, High Call, 5-1. We just talked to Kieran McLaughlin. He's been so confident, just rave reviews about what he's seen from High Call as a 4-year-old as opposed to last year.
I saw him at Palmettos the other day. I went up to speak to Kieran myself, and this horse just looked the picture of health. He seems like he's really taken a big step forward this year, and I see it too, just even looking at him physically, the way that his muscles have developed and leaned out, and he was healthy in his coat, and he was a real picture in the walking ring. He should get a nice trip today to build off that last race.
Hog Creek Hustle, pictured, provided Vicky Foley, trainer, with her first Grade 1 victory of her career, winning the Woody Stevens. Like High Call, should take advantage of a hot, anticipated pace.
This is one of the horses that I really like in here. I like High Call and Hog Creek Hustle quite a bit as far as tactically and how it's going to potentially set up for them. I saw Hog Creek Hustle Paddock School here the other day, so he's been getting settled at Gulfstream Park. He had a kind of almost playfulness in the paddock that day, and I thought that that was definitely something you like to see. You like to see them adapting well and having good energy here at a new track, and he's obviously shipped well.
As they circle about where we have reached post time here, Greg, Mr. Freeze, 2-1. So what kind of afternoon is it going to be for trainer Dale Romans? The big 3-year-old, Dennis's Moment, the favorite in the Fountain of Youth. First things first, Mr. Freeze in the Gulfstream Park Mile.
Yeah, 2 big prizes to come for Dale Romans. The first of them right here with the favorite, Mr. Freeze. The 9-horse on the board is the 2-1 choice. Again, shortening up from 1 1/8 in the Pegasus World Cup Invitational. You wanted to talk, though, Andy, about the other Kieran McLaughlin runner. Let's go back to True Timber for a moment. High Cal, I know you're not super high on. I actually liked his 4-year-old comeback race.
I liked it too. I just don't think he's fast enough to win this race. And I think he's a terrible bet at 5-1. But that's just me. True Timber to me, he's run plenty of races fast enough. His Cigar Mile, when he was 3rd behind Maximum Security, he was one of the only horses that made up any ground at all in that race. And I thought he ran it well the time before. He was chasing wide while Maximum Security benefited from being inside in the Bold Ruler. I just think he's run well in all of his starts. And the 1 1/8, the Pegasus, too far for him. I love the cutback for him, Richie.
Yeah, I think he's more of a true one-turn kind of horse. You know, the question for me, and I'm curious, and I think 12-1 is a huge price on this horse.
Crazy, right?
Adding blinkers as a 6-year-old, what do you make of that?
I don't like it. To be fair, I was looking up Kieran McLaughlin with blinker, first-timer blinker change in graded stakes. He was 2nd with Curran to Ricks and Mortar last year at Churchill Downs on Derby Day, so he's done a good job with it, but it does smack a little of desperation, and I'm not sure why he should feel desperate with this horse, because other than sort of just being completely out of it in the slow-paced Pegasus, going 2 turns, his other races were all very good, so I don't love it. It doesn't feel as though Kieran's as confident as I am.
Well, and I think you made a great point, though. I mean, High Cal at 5-1 compared to this horse now at 11-1. I like this horse better, and you're getting a much better price.
Yeah, and with Heikal, you're betting him on the come, because wouldn't you agree, Greg, he has to improve to win this race?
No question.
And in a tough race like this, 5-1's no bargain.
Yeah, I agree. And look, he is not for the faint of heart, his running style. He comes from so far out of it. You saw there, Fountain of Youth still to come. We are less than an hour to post on the most highly anticipated Derby prep of the season so far, with the return of Dennis's Moment, making his 3-year-old debut. That is coming up in race 14, Grade 2 Fountain of Youth. But first things first for Dale Romans. Can Mr. Freeze get him a win?
How about the B he took earlier today in a maiden race for Calumet, the same connection of True Timber. But Dale Romans 99-1 on the board and nailed the last jump.
But his horses are running.
They are running.
It is the Grade 2 Gulfstream Park Mile. Mr. Freeze cutting back in distance off a runner-up finish in the Pegasus World Cup. Let's go to Pete Aiello for the call from Gulfstream.
They're in the gate. And they're off in the 73rd Gulfstream Park Mile. Beautiful beginning for the Romans pair, Rare Form and Mr. Freeze, and they're headed to the top. Down at the inside, Bodie Express is marching forward, and Bodie Express will go after Rare Form up front. Jockey Manny Franco has Mr. Freeze third on the flank of the top two, 2.5 clear of True Timber. Racing between horses is Forever Mo with a call toward the inside. Out wide and Hog Creek Hustle. 1.5 lengths to the Fat Man. He's fourth last. Third last is Dushare. Expert is second last, and the trailer is Zenden. 23-1 for the opening quarter, less than 5 furlongs to go. Bodie Express and Jaramillo in front by a neck. Rare Form keeps the pressure on second. Mr. Freeze a 3-wide third. 2.5 to True Timber, who's now fourth. Forevermo at the inside fifth. Followed 6 by Hog Creek Hustle, then Fat Man seventh. Dropping back to 8th is Hakal. 9th is Zenden. 10th is Dushare, and Expert is 11th and last behind a 45-1 opening half mile. These top three have done each other no favors as Mr. Freeze bids up 3 wide. From 4th, Hog Creek Hustle begins to get a move on for Gaffleone. He'll tip to the far outside to try to track down the trio, and the Fat Man is underway for Castellano. He's 5 wide. There's a 1/4 mile left to go. Mr. Freeze has ran to the top and leads by 2. Hog Creek Hustle and Fat Man are stretch dangers. Long shot Forevermo tries to get a slice, and they wheel for home. 109-4 for 3/4 with 1/8 mile to go. Mr. Freeze is strong up front, and he leads by 3. Fat Man is second. Back to third, Hog Creek Hustle, but they couldn't stay with Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze, Manny Franco, and Dale Romans win the Gulfstream Mile by 2. Second, Fat Man, close for third. Maybe Hog Creek Hustle over True Timber in 134-4.
Mr. Freeze, way too good for this group, and the Gulfstream Park Mile did look like Hog Creek Hustle got third.
This was a very, very good performance, because if you look at the race, the horses he was engaged with early, they were completely done when they hit the top of the stretch, and closers got involved. But Mr. Freeze just buried him. I mean, this is a dominant winner, Richie.
Dominant win, and when Manny set him down, he really dropped it, kept running. Impressive performance.
Yeah. Big Dale has to be feeling good now heading towards the big race.
No question. As we go to Oaklawn right now, maiden special weight, final leg of the cross country, pick 5, 9-5 favorite in this straight maiden sprint, 6 furlongs. That is Exchange West, the 9 for Jerry Hollendorfer. Vic Stauffer with the call.
'Tis a Goddess and Got a Good Notion. The last horse to load will be Golden Command. They're at the post. They're off. Golden Command and Shocking Fast. Elena Marie break best. At the rail goes Hoyam. Then in the center, Exchange West, and I can't read the odds. Tiz got us in a very tight spot. She had to check briefly off heels from Got a Good Notion and Lil Respect, and the trailer is Nurse Sadie. Shocking Fast and Elena Marie. Exchange West 3 deep. These 3 across the track. Hoyam, Dixie Nation, and I can't read the odds. 4, 5, and 6, and less than 2 from the front. Got a Good Notion will be 4 wide. Then comes Golden Command and Lil Respect. Tis a Goddess now 7 lengths behind, gonna go wide, and the trailer is Nurse Sadie, and the leader is Shocking Fast. Shocking Fast ahead in front of Elena Marie in second. Hoyam is at the rail. Exchange West to the outside. Tis a Goddess is now unwinding, and here comes Tis a Goddess with big strides in the center. The leader is Shocking Fast from Elena Marie. Tis a Goddess has a chance. She's 3 behind. Shocking Fast trying to give Asmussen and Santana 3. Tis a Goddess running a good one, but it will be second best to Shocking Fast, who runs away and wins. Shocking Fast won by 6. Tis a Goddess was second. Dixie Nation third. Elena Marie finished 4th.
Well, this horse had been based in Southern California, used to be with Bob Baffert, now with Steve Asmussen. 3rd time out the charm.
And as hot a combination as there is in North America, Ricardo Santana and Steve Asmussen, they just understand what each other wants, how Steve wants his horses ridden, how they do things. You could see midway around the turn, Greg, he was as confident as could be in Shocking Fast, and this horse really kicked away, finished the deal. I love the way she strode out through the stretch.
A different area code than the rest of that field. Shocking Fast. Daughter Distorted Humor gets her maiden breaker in her 3rd career start, and Steve Asmussen's maiden man, Ricardo Santana Jr., in the irons for the win. As we shift back to New York here, and the 9th at Aqueduct. It is just a minute to post here. New York Bred's 25 claiming race coming up as you look at the favorite in here at 3-1 on the board. That is Blue Belt, Eddie Barker.
And Blue Belt gets the aforementioned Romero Mirage, who came back off a bad injury. He's been riding really, really well. Eddie Barker does a good job. And a friend of mine owns this horse, John Guerrera. So I do have, full disclosure, a rooting interest here. And I think the race sets up nicely for Blue Belt, who can be a little bit shy about getting his picture taken.
Yeah, it's had some great opportunities to get wins here at Aqueduct against this level last couple of starts and has not been able to seal the deal, at least of late. As we look at the 2 big thicket, James Ferraro, 3-time winner here on this racetrack.
You know, Jimmy Ferraro's barn has been very hot. He had 2 wins on yesterday's card. And if you look at this horse, it just feels like he kind of put him in the wrong spots when he claimed him. Going a mile, I know he's run okay at Finger Lakes. He was over his head, a speed track 2 back. I think this is a much more appropriate spot. And while I agree, Richie, that the 4 is the horse to beat in here, Blue Belt, you say he's camera shy, and I thought the 2 big thicket was an interesting alternative.
Well, I agree with you. He's definitely running in a much more appropriate kind of spot. And I like the turn back for him. I think it intensifies his late kick.
Yeah. He's my play here.
Now, meanwhile, maybe the speed of the speed in this race, that one right there, the 7 in here, Flash Drive. Chris Englehart, he's a 2-time winner at Aqueduct, and he could try and just say goodbye to this field early.
Yeah, and gets John Bisogno, who we just saw win the Bernardini in the last race, but he's going to have to do it with a completely different style and be aggressive here. This horse does possess a lot of speed.
Yeah, I just wonder if he's going to be able to duplicate that out-of-town form.
Couple left to move in. The favorite down on the rail. It's the 1 Wushu Warrior, the 4 Blue Belt vying for the role of favorite in here. Nightcap from Aqueduct. We send it upstairs to Johnny Imbrial for the call. You're watching America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports 2.
Still a couple more to go in. Number 4, Blue Belt, who has been made the 2-1 favorite. Blue Belt a little hesitant to go into the starting gate. Now appears to be moving in, and we'll just have the outside horse, number 9, Royal Asset, to complete the field. And it is a field of 9 going 6 furlongs in the Aqueduct finale. Royal Asset is in, and we are set for the start. And they're off. Royal Asset from the outside. Psychic Energy broke well. Now moving up is a Flash Drive. It's Flash Drive, and right alongside is Big Long Shot. What a catch. So the 2 of them are heads apart. Wushu Warriors down at the rail in 3rd. Psychic Energy moves up in between horses. Right alongside is 5-Star Bunt, and on the extreme outside is Royal Asset. Then San Juan Diego is running in 7th. Blue Belt is 8th at this point, and it's a break of 4. Back to Big Thicket, who trails the field in 9th. The quarter went in 23 seconds. Flash Drive hounded here by What a Catch. The 2 of them are right together, and right in behind down at the rail is Wushu Warrior. Then it's a Psychic Energy. On the extreme outside is Blue Belt, now making his move as the field comes for the top of the stretch. It is What a Catch. Blue Belt on the outside. Wushu Warrior looks to come through down at the rail. Then it's San Juan Diego as they come down for the 8th pole. Here comes San Juan Diego on the outside. Here comes Wushu Warrior down at the rail. And Big Thicket, who was last, is putting in a late run here. So it's Wushu Warrior on the inside, San Juan Diego, and Big Thicket. The three of them come to the finish in the finale, and Wushu Warrior won it. Wushu Warrior gives jockey Eric Consell his 3rd win today.
A triple for young Eric Consell. Teams up with Chris Engelhardt, and this 5-year-old has now won 3 of his last 4 starts.
You know, and Richie, you commented midway in the race, Eric did a very good job of getting his position in here, and while he ultimately had trouble keeping up at this point, he was aggressive with him, and he kept a hold of that position, and the rail position made the difference in the victory, because the 2, with an inside run, he might have won the race.
Yeah, absolutely. And the 2, you know, one-run closer type, you don't always have that luxury to try to get through, but getting your position allows you to get a horse in the bridle and wait for the hole to come. So Eric did a really good job, and when the hole presented itself, the trips made all the difference here.
Absolutely a tale of trips. Skimming the fence, Wushu Warrior from that inside post gets the job done, 5-2. Big day for that young man, Eric Consell. 3-win afternoon. He's been having a tremendous meet. We have really seen his growth over the last year as a jockey here on this New York circuit.
You know, PJ Campo took over his book early in this Aqueduct meet, and he has made all the difference. They have been a great team.
Has done a phenomenal job for him. And when you start winning, your confidence level goes up, and that really helps you.
Eric's confident?
You think?
Yeah.
Wushu Warrior closes out the Aqueduct card with a win. We'll be back. More coming up from Stream after this.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Ground on her inside. Race. Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Can get him. Run Happy has won the Naira.Tompkins Bishop by 4.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. New members earn up to a $200 deposit match with promo code Big A at NairaBets.com.
You're watching America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports 2. Fountain of Youth Derby prep still to come. But at Oaklawn, closing out the cross-country Pick 5. Shocking Fast used to be a Bob Baffert runner out on the West Coast. Moves to the Steve Asmussen barn. Filly by Distorted Humor breaks her maiden, returns 860.
Yeah. Nice switch, I guess.
$956 return with really just one price in there.
So 17, about 50, just trying 220, 200. Yeah, it's a little better than a parlay. Not bad.
Yeah?
Yeah, not bad.
Back in New York, Wushu Warrior, $7.70 to close out the card. 3-win day for Eric Consell and Chris Engelhardt. Team up for Wachtell Stable.
Just a nice ride. Getting position, going forward, key to success in a lot of races.
And Eric's maybe with Manny Franco and Jose Lozcano out of town. He's very close to the leader now after 3 wins today.
Back at Gulfstream, this was a monster effort from Mr. Freeze. What does this performance do for him? Where does he go next? What does he start thinking?
Well, he's got to win a Grade 1. I mean, obviously, that's what Dale Romans is thinking. So the 2 Grade 1s right now for him are the 7-furlong Churchill Downs Handicap on Derby Day, which he's more likely to go to, I think, than our Carter here, which he could go to.
Yeah.
But also, the Met Mile's always the goal. Now, the Met Mile could feature Maximum Security, but you want to win those races, and they're big, big races. The Met Mile, he wins a race like the Met Mile, it makes his career. He's a stallion, et cetera, et cetera. You know you're going to face good horses. And one thing about Dale Romans, he's not afraid of facing anybody.
No, not at all. And I think this horse certainly stamped his ticket today. I mean, this was a powerful performance, today. And I think you're right. He goes to Churchill Downs because that's his next stop after leaving Florida. That's his home base, and then get ready to come to the Belmont Stakes Day.
And I'm getting excited because there are some other horses, performers supposed to come back in our Carter. I mean, Sugar McGay was pointing to it. Hidden Scroll is set to make his comeback tomorrow. He could go there. There's some nice older horse in the rise and a much stronger year than last year.
Well, Dale Romans in a position he's not used to being in, has him a little bit nervous with the ultra-talented Dennis's moment still to come in the Fountain of Youth. But what a performance by Mr. Freeze. Let's go to Acacia.
Standing by with winning trainer Dale Romans, Mr. Freeze gets the Gulfstream Park Mile. What does that mean after such a big effort from this horse in the Pegasus?
This horse, I don't think we've seen the best of him. Today might be the breakthrough race we've been looking for. He was super impressive with a good field, and to do what he did takes an awfully nice horse.
Now, he's been so impressive, but the day's not over for you. What are your thoughts leading up to Dennis's moment in the Fountain of Youth?
I mean, if he doesn't win, I'll be very disappointed. I mean, that's what we're all here for, is for that race. This is a great race to win on. This sets us up good for the Godolphin Mile. But, you know, the road to the Derby is the road to the Derby.
And if he wins today, pointing on potentially Florida Derby, continuing on to the Derby?
Yeah, if he wins today, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't leave her back. We'd stay here in our backyard and go ahead and run the Florida Derby and head home.
Dale, thanks so much. Congratulations. Good luck later.
Thank you.
Thanks.
First things first. Let's Fountain of Youth still to come. Let's take it baby steps.
Dale does not lack confidence.
He's admitted, though, he's nervous. He's not used to being in this position with a 3-year-old. And it's because he has such high expectations for this horse.
And there's no reason he shouldn't. It's true. When you think of the horses he's done well with, Shackelford, I mean, Shackelford got beaten a zop in the Florida Derby. He was $1,000,000 that day, right? Now, it's not bad to have the favorite, but there's more different pressure.
Yeah, Mile 3 ace, McDermott on turf. Coming up next, Zulu Alpha, winner of the Pegasus World Cup Turf Invitational. Back in action and still ahead. There is Dennis's moment. The reason Dale Romans showed up this afternoon to Gulfstream. That's why he's here. In his own words, he'll have to hold off Shotsky, who's shown he has speed and stamina. The Fountain of Youth on the road to the Derby, still to come.
Smiling Tigers Championship sire performance continues. Each of his first 3 crops has produced a Horse of the Year, including California Horse of the Year Spiced Perfection and 2019 champion 2-year-old male El Tigre Terrible. 14 6-figure earners, including 7 with single-season earnings surpassing $100,000 in 2019. California's #1 second crop sire in 2018 and now #1 third crop sire of 2019. Smiling Tiger, standing at Harris Farms. Visit SmilingTigerStallion.com for more information. It pays to be Cal-bred.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than America'sBestRacing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. America's Best Racing is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
Coming on strong.
Minute to stardom. On top, coming down to the final 16th. Opening up a 2-length lead.
Feel my love for you.
Wild About Star, shining big here in Berry 1.
Oh, why did I wrong?
Testing, 1, 2. The Star Guitar filly leads Champagne Diva close to home. It's testing, 1, 2.
Feel my love for you. Coming on strong.
Back on America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports 2. We continue on the road to the Kentucky Derby, still to come later in our program. The Grade 2 Fountain of Youth, 50 points to the winner of that race, virtually guaranteeing a spot in the starting gate in the Kentucky Derby the first Saturday in May. As you look at Zulu Alpha, Grade 2, McDermott coming up, winner of the Pegasus World Cup Turf Invitational. Big effort, but trip worked out awfully nice for him, too.
It did. He got an unbelievable trip, and Sadler's Joy, I mean, he was as lucky as a horse could be because it's not his fault. He didn't break badly. He just got completely eliminated. It's one thing to be a closer and you don't break that sharply. He was totally taken out of the race, caught wide on the second turn, and Zulu Alpha, I mean, Tyler Gaffalione gave this horse about as good a ride as you can give a horse, Richie.
Well, saved every inch of ground, and that's so important in turf racing, and horses are braver on the turf because they're not dealing with kickback in their face, dirt the back at them. And it just underscores how important starts are no matter what the distance of the race is.
No, it's a great point. A lot of people say, oh, he had all this time to get back. He lost all chance to start. I think Sadler's Joy is going to win this race. I much prefer him, Zulu Alpha. And I'll tell you another horse. Do you think Admissions Office, he didn't have the best of trips last time either. He was wide, and I don't think he ever had a fair chance to run.
He's the 7. He's half his morning line right now.
Yeah.
I thought he was a little interesting at a price.
Well, he did run into traffic. It was a log jam in there, you could see, and that's what forced, certainly Sadler's Joy to go as wide as he did.
Meanwhile, the 5, that is Channel Maker. That's a horse who just about every single time shows up. He did not show up in the Breeders' Cup Turf.
He didn't, and he hasn't run his best races at Gulfstream. But, we were talking off air, and a Thread of Blue is the controlling speed. But Channel Maker has the speed to sit right outside of him, Richie, right? And that's why you like his chances.
Well, I like Channel Maker because I think he trips out. Thread of Blue does not want to go this far. I think you use him as a false pacemaker. Let him lead you as far as he can. When he stops, you assume the lead. And it's supposed to do it the right way. And I think this course has been very kind to horses that are running up close to the pace.
Do you worry, though, he's a horse that needs a start or two to get his best form going? That was what concerned me. Not that I disagree with your other way of thinking.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a very good point, and I make that point. As horses get older, they got to shake off a little ring rust. He is 6.
Here's our post-parade long shot. Morocco kicks things off. Michael Maker off the claim, 32-1. Another big long shot in post 2. That is Nessie. We're going to see this trainee from Ian Wilkes coming out of back-to-back Group 1s at Woodbine.
It's a better chance there's a Loch Ness Monster than he wins this race.
28-1. I like that line. This is the horse to catch. He is the lone speed of the race at Thread of Blue.
The question with him is, can he improve as a 4-year-old?
We'll find out. Sadler's Joy, meanwhile, you saw that tough trip last time out in the Pegasus.
I love this horse today. I just think he's going to
win. And he's just pace dependent, though.
Mm-hmm.
Bill
tricky to ride.
Channel Maker, Junior Alvarado at 7-1.
Again, a horse I think that just falls into that trip you want on this course in particular.
Zulu Alpha, $1.9 million in earnings.
Listen, he shows up and runs well every time. I'm not going to knock him. I just prefer others.
Admission Office, as Andy was talking about, 9-1, Brian Lynch.
Just didn't have a fair trip last time. I want to see him get a cleaner trip as Manny Franco doing back-to-back stakes.
Spooky Channel, he's 7 for 12 lifetime. He just won a Grade 3 at Gulfstream.
This is tougher, though, but big price last time.
Big price,
yeah. And Armistice Day, 67-1 on the outside for Barbara Minshaw.
Yeah, he seems a little bit better on synthetic, maybe.
That is our field, Grade 2. McDermott coming up, mile 3/8 on the turf. And then it is the Fountain of Youth on the road to the Kentucky Derby with Dennis's Moment back in action. Stay with us.
All of them have pretty good minds. We're all pretty happy with their minds and how they react to things and how smart they are and pick up what we want them to do very well and very quickly. And, most of them have very good temperaments like he did, and, most of them are showing some speed, so we're pretty happy with the way they all are.
Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Go from Railbird to Winner Circle. With My Racehorse, you have access to top horses and trainers, backside tours, exclusive ownership experiences, and fast payouts to your online account. With shares starting as little as $100, the Winner Circle is waiting for you. Go to myracehorse.com or download the My Racehorse app today to join the thousands who have already started their journey as a racehorse owner.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. New members earn up to a $200 deposit match with promo code Big A at NairaBets.com.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Races. The Grade 2 McDermott is coming up next, and I'm standing by with trainer Tom Albertrani, who has Sadler's Joy. And Tom, take me back first through the Pegasus last time. He did have a lot of trouble in that race.
Yeah, he got really bumped pretty hard leaving the gate, and it kind of put him back further than you want. Normally he's back there, but we didn't want to be that far back, and, it kind of cost him a little bit of a placing that day. And plus the distance being a little shorter that day as well, and, didn't really help us that much that day.
Now, he's exciting to watch. I know he probably gives you a little bit of a heart attack coming from the back of the pace, but what an awesome horse he's been on the track.
He's been very consistent all year round. Hopefully today with the added distance, if he just comes back, runs this race, gets the right trip, he's always right there. So we're hoping for a good run.
Now, I wanted to ask, too, it's a little bit cooler today. In the past, I've seen him get a little bit warm before the races, too. Do you think a day like this is going to help him out as well?
Absolutely. This is a great day for him because he does get a little warm. And today he's really calm and collective, so whatever helps is good.
He looks great, Tom. Thanks for your time. And just one more question. How would you like to see any kind of fractions you're particularly looking to see early on in the race?
Well, normally there's a couple of horses in here. You'd think a Thread of Blue and Channel Maker might set a good pace, but sometimes you get the opposite. So I don't know what kind of pacing area we might get set up, but hopefully a good 50, a snappy 50 maybe would help if we get something like that.
All right, we'll be looking forward to that. Tom, thanks so much. Good luck today with Sadler's Joy.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Well, obviously the faster the better for Sadler's Joy. Is going to come from very far back, but there does not appear to be a lot of horses to go with a Thread of Blue, the 3, in this race.
It shows you how the game has changed, that somebody would refer to a 50 half as snappy.
I know the three of us reacted to the snappy 50. You obviously Sadler's Joy's connection want to see as fast a pace as possible, but I agree. I think Thread of Blue goes to the lead, sets his own pace, and if I'm riding Channel Maker, I'm going to ride it as though he's not in the race. If he goes wire to wire, then he beats me. I just don't believe he can go that far, and then hopefully when he comes back to you soon.
But one of the things you were very good at, Richie, was timing it well. If you have him, do you try to open up at some point if you can?
Absolutely. You have to take advantage of your weapon, which is your natural speed. Don't wait on the kickers and think you can outkick them.
Well, Thread of Blue, the 3, he's the lone speed. He could not last at 1.5 miles in the Jockey Club Derby as we send it out to Lafitte and Acacia.
Yeah, and guys, one of the bigger stories in this McDermott involves an owner, Acacia. Michael Hoy, who owns Zulu Alpha, the favorite. Here's a guy who got involved in the game years ago in Arkansas, claiming owner, right? Claims this horse, Zulu Alpha, for $80,000 in September of 2018. And now here he is, the owner of a Pegasus World Cup turf winner and one of the best long-distance turf horses in North America.
He is a very kind of soft-spoken, even-keeled guy, and I've never seen him so excited as he was in the winner's circle after the Pegasus World Cup turf, understandably so. And this was a horse that he claimed. He'd sent him to Mike Maker, who's been his go-to guy recently, and just seeing this horse in particular succeed at the higher levels in these older horse races, and I just think his Pegasus win was fantastic. He, too, is going to need a nice pace setup this day.
Zulu Alpha getting crushed 3-2. How about Channel Maker, who's banked more than $2.1 million? He's 6-year-old. His sire, English Channel, a Breeders' Cup Turf champion, and this will be his first start since running 12th in the Breeders' Cup Turf.
And I know all of us that follow New York are very familiar with this horse's running style, that he can be very high-headed. He can be hard to handle early on in the race. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be on the lead. Sometimes he almost botches his own lead in the fact that he's hard to handle early on. He looked well today off the layup. We'll see how he handles the pace.
We were at Saratoga for the inaugural Saratoga Derby, and we watched a Thread of Blue go wire to wire for Kieran McLaughlin at 13-1. He is 4-1 this afternoon. On paper, the one to catch, Acacia. How far can he take this field?
So the thing about that I wanted to touch on what Greg had said about him not lasting, going 1.5 miles, I do think that was perhaps maybe a touch far for him, but I spoke to Luis Saez before the Tropical Park Turf last time, and he said the main thing with this horse is he does not like a softer turf. The very very firm turf here in South Florida suits him perfectly. Kieran McLaughlin also told me that the mile last time was too short. Hopefully this is going to kind of be an in-between distance. It's a good spot for him. He's just a 4-year-old. I think he's kind of rounding into form, while the others maybe have already proven it.
And you're here all meet. Speed really has been a weapon on the turf course here at Gulfstream.
Yeah, you look at Cheermeister a little bit earlier. Maybe this horse is going to get some pressure from Channel Maker, but this one we know is going to the lead.
At the gate, up next will be the feature, the Fountain of Youth. All eyes on Dennis's Moment. Could be a huge afternoon for trainer Dale Romans. But first things first, the 2020 McDermott 3 turns, mile and 3/8. All eyes on Zulu Alpha, the Pegasus World Cup Turf winner, 7-5 at post time. Here's Pete Ayala.
Now moving in is Sadler's Joy. A Thread of Blue steps into line. Ammerman Racing's admission office is ready now. Waiting for Spooky Channel and Armistice Day. Armistice Day to the outside. In the gate. And they're off in the McDermott. Toward the inside, Morocco wins the break, and he's being sent hard to try to get a clear advantage over A Thread of Blue, who comes away in second. From the far outside, Armistice Day is moving closer. He's now third. Spooky Channel had to tap on the brakes. He's back to fifth, and proving inside was Channel Maker. He's now up into fourth. These top flight runners have 3 lengths on Admission Office, who's outside of Sadler's Joy. 2.5 clear of Pegasus Turf winner Zulu Alpha and the early trailer, Nessie. They wheel in front of us for the first time. Loose up top, Morocco ensuring a lively tempo. He's opened a 4-length lead now. A Thread of Blue trying to rate his own trip while racing second. Armistice Day on the outside is third. At the inside, Channel Maker follows along in fourth. 2 better than Spooky Channel. Then down at the inside goes Sadler's Joy. Outside of him, an Admission Office third last. Second last and comfortable at this stage is Zulu Alpha. And still nothing from Nessie, but still a long way to go to the opening half mile and a rock-solid 46-2. Morocco doing the rabbit tactics here. He's on top by 5. Racing in second is A Thread of Blue on the outside. Armistice Day is third. Channel Makers had a good run of it, fourth at the inside. Followed fifth by Spooky Channel. Then Sadler's Joy and Admission Office. No alarm bells going off yet from Gaffleone. He's well settled on Zulu Alpha, second last, and 5 in front of Nessie. They turn into the backstretch after 3 quarters in 1:11.3. There's now 5 furlongs left to go. Morocco's been in front from the outset. He's gone awfully quick. A Thread of Blue starts to creep closer second. On the outside, Armistice Day is still third. At the inside, and Channel Maker from fourth, and Spooky Channel and Sadler's Joy. Admission Office travels well enough. He's about 5 lengths off the lead. A length and a half in front of Zulu Alpha, who's still confidently handled. And Nessie's been last throughout as they round the far turn. Now the pace quickens, and with the lead, it's Morocco, but only on borrowed time. From the far outside, Zulu Alpha is just going to try to swoop the group here as Admission Office got first run on him. Top of the lane in the McDermott. Admission Office kicks on with Zulu Alpha over the top, loose and charging. 1/8 of a mile to go. Admission Office the leader. Zulu Alpha on the outside takes his shot under Gaffleone, and here's Zulu Alpha to the front. Admission Office's game, and he's trying to cling with him, but the Pegasus Turf winner is too good. Zulu Alpha wins the McDermott. Second was Admission Office. It's close for third. Either Channel Maker or Sadler's Joy in 2:11.2.
Zulu Alpha backs up his Pegasus World Cup Turf Invitational victory with a win in the McDermott.
And while he obviously got a very ridiculously fast pace to close into, he really was best today in the sense because he didn't break and he went wide. So he had some good things happen, but he didn't have nearly the good trip he had in the Pegasus, Richie.
No, he proved more today than he did in the Pegasus. He had to overcome adversity today. The bad break put him further back, which turned out maybe to be a blessing. But going wide, he finished the deal. He was the best horse, and I think he probably earned the respect he's due now.
And I got to tell you, Sadler's Joy, he was bad. He didn't finish at all. You know, my long shot with Admission's Office ran okay, but the winner was best.
Even money, Zulu Alpha. We go right to Oaklawn, loading up for the 8th 2-turn mile. Allowance optional claiming group and 7-5 favorite. The 7 Marvin for McLean Robertson just beat a neck last time out.
I love the name. It's like a statement name. Marvin.
See what happens here. Vic Stauffer with the call, race 8 from Oaklawn.
They're at the post. They're off. Good start for Something Super and Tic Tac Mo, Shackelford's Joy and Marvin and Gangley, and 5 of them go for the lead. Tic Tac Mo going to ride the lead to the clubhouse turn from Marvin, who runs up into second. Shared Sense and Renan and Hurt So Good are at the back of the pack. So the leader to the backstretch is Tic Tac Mo, but Marvin's on the attack, and there goes Marvin to put his head in front. Tic Tac Mo is second, 2 lengths to Shackelford's Joy and Gangley. Something Super and Hurt So Good both have 5 lengths to make up. Shared Sense is at the rail with 6 to close, and Renan is the trailer. Midway on the backstretch, and Marvin is strutting his stuff now. Marvin has moved away to a 3/4 length lead from Tic Tac Mo in second. Shackelford's Joy and Gangley, 3rd and 4th, and 2 from Marvin. 2.5 lengths further back to Something Super and Hurt So Good. Shared Sense still has 6 lengths to make up. Remember, the finish line is the 16th pole, but he is unwinding now. Here's Shared Sense, going to move up within 4 of the lead, and he's on a sustained run. Meanwhile, Marvin is well in front. Marvin to the quarter pole, 1.5 lengths in front of Gangley. Shared Sense is going to move up into second outside of Shackelford's Joy. Something Super not today, top of the stretch. Marvin and Shared Sense. Shackelford's Joy at the rail, and here's Shared Sense outside of Marvin, and they set the stage for a good battle to the wire. Marvin in front, Shared Sense to the outside. They are shoulder to shoulder to the wire. Shared Sense outside, Marvin inside, gonna be close. Shared Sense and Marvin. Shared Sense wins. Wow, that was close and a heck of a horse race. Marvin and Shared Sense, Shackelford's Joy and Gangley.
Son of Street Sense, Brad Cox, Joe Talamo, Godolphin, Shared Sense breaks his maiden.
Does seem like he got the money there, and the maiden. It was odd that Brad Cox kept running this maiden in a non-winners of 1, and he ran him in Smarty Jones, then a non-winners of 1. Couldn't find a maiden race for him. Wasn't there a route maiden race earlier?
Yeah.
A little odd, right?
Showing his confidence in him, maybe.
Godolphin doesn't mind blowing the condition. They can afford it, I guess.
The star of the show is ready to take the stage. It is the Grade 2 Fountain of Youth winner. Will have enough points to go into the starting gate in the Kentucky Derby. Dennis's moment, his 3-year-old debut. Is he ready to rise to the top?
Eclipse champion Blame, ranked among the top stallions of his crop. Blame has sired over 50 stakes horses. His recent top performers include Kentucky Derby hopefuls Shotsky, winner of the Grade 2 Rimson Stakes, and rising star Nadal, a $700,000 juvenile purchase and winner of the Grade 2 San Vicente. Plus recent Grade 1 performers Mississippi, Alandra, and Natalma Stakes winner Abscond. Outstanding value, outstanding results. Blame, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Racing with the power of daily racing form. DRF has helped players win at the races for 125 years. Now the information you trust is better than ever. Get exclusive late-breaking news from our reporters at tracks across the country. Position yourself to win by adding Buyer speed figures and the new DRF formulator to your handicapping arsenal. Go to drf.com/NYRA today. Use coupon code DRF2020 to get a free formulator card and start winning.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on America's Day at the Races, here on Fox Sports 2, Zulu Alpha in the McDermott back-to-back victories now, 11 wins from 32 career starts, and loves Gulfstream.
Mike Maker, his record with turf routers, you know, the true ones, you start going 11 furlongs, 12 furlongs, it's remarkable. And horses he's claimed, gone on won stakes with them. This horse is now 11 for 32 lifetime with 9 seconds or thirds. He shows up every time and he wins.
Well, you heard about this owner who claimed this horse for $80,000 from Lafitte Pinkai. Acacia's standing by.
Here in the winner's circle with winning owner Michael Hoy. And Mike, what a road it's been with Zulu Alpha. How important was it for you to get the win today after that big impressive victory in the Pegasus World Cup turf?
Well, Acacia, it's great to get a win anytime at any level, but I mean, this just kind of, in my mind, solidifies him this year that, you know, he stepped his game up to the next level.
Now, I've never seen you so excited as you were in the winner's circle after the Pegasus. I mean, how meaningful is this horse to you?
Oh, speechless. Like I said, I mean, it's, you know my history. It's I'm a racetrack guy. I mean, you just dream of owning a horse like this someday, and dreams come true.
Where do you think we might see him the rest of 2020? Do you think we have more races to be privileged to see?
I believe so. That's kind of above my pay grade. You need to ask Mike Maker. But, you know, right now I'm thinking maybe a race on Kentucky Derby Day.
Mike, thanks so much, and congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Now go get your picture taken.
Okay, bye-bye.
At 7 years old, this horse is coming into the best form of his career.
No, I can't say enough for the job that Mike does. I think he's a sensational trainer, and this horse just, he shows up.
He shows up. I think the key to longevity with these older turf horses is that they get breaks during the year, different times of the year where they don't race. They have an opportunity for Mother Nature to heal with the little aches and pains they may have. And, boy, you got to love the way he runs, too, kind of that out and downward head action. Covers a lot of ground.
Guys, are you ready? Mick, what were you feeling when you were getting set all day for a big race like this, a big Derby prep, when there was a big star horse in the race like a Dennis's moment?
I was just trying to make money playing cards in the jockey's room and pay for my trip. But no, I mean,
because you were always right at a 20-to-1 shot, right?
Oh,
so
yeah, absolutely.
you had a shot to win.
Well, when I won the Florida Derby on Friends Lake, he was 35-to-1, and actually did make a couple grand playing cards in the room beforehand. But
bet it all on him to win.
Honestly, you're paying attention to how the track's playing, and you're trying to formulate a plan that puts you in your position to win.
Well, this is from Twitter earlier. Dennis doesn't really care about his post position. He just wants to show off his new trick.
He's
That's
got
too close for
personality.
comfort for me.
Nah, I kind of like that. I think that's very cool.
That's cool. I like that. It's pretty cool.
Andy, you wouldn't take that photo, would you?
No.
Yeah,
Dennis wouldn't take a photo with me either. He'd
Yeah,
be
I
on the
don't
other
think
side
he
of the
would.
stall. Go get that guy out of my barn.
Well, we had a poll from Andy earlier.
You know, I put this up because I was amazed at the number of people I was seeing on the internet that were just dismissing Dennis's moment, and I didn't really understand, and I wondered if it was just a sort of random thing. And I mean, listen, he may get nothing in the Derby, and let's be honest, he's what?
Did you have to word it that way? Overrated non-contender?
I could only
it's a little
put,
strong.
I could only put 2. I didn't want to have like 4 options. I want to know, do people think this is like a solid
Is he for
Derby
real
type
or
horse,
he's not?
or do you just think he's sort of a phony? And I was really curious, and I'm shocked because, frankly, I think they're completely wrong. I think he is a clear, major Kentucky Derby contender.
I don't think people are really looking at the Breeders' Cup Juvenile the right way. He was eliminated, put a line through it. He had no chance after, stumbling. And frankly, Irad Ortiz took care of him. There's bigger things to come. Sometimes things beyond your control, you just do what's right by the horse.
And I hear a lot of, he hasn't faced anybody. Who did they really think he was going to be facing in those races at that point in his career? The races he ran, this was early September of his 2-year-old year, and he got a 90-buyer speed figure, winning comfortably at a 2-turn mile and 16th.
And
what did people expect?
And I don't care who wound up showing up in the race. I don't think they were going to beat him.
Right. Let's put it this way: this figure would have won. This speed figure would have won the Breeders' Cup by about 3 lengths, and he did this in early September. You make a routine improvement, and he's running a 105 figure, 110 in the Derby.
He has had issues. Half of his starts have not gone his way, including the Breeders' Cup Juvenile from that inside post.
Well, this is just one of those things. His first start, he actually got squeezed going to the turn. That was long after the start of the race.
Totally different issue.
Totally different issue. The ground broke away from him. It happens. Watch his feet. Look, concentrate on his feet. Look, you see the way he broke and the ground broke away from him, and he basically went to his knees. and he got up, and it just eliminated him completely.
Well, this is more recent. This was February 15th. It was 2 works back. He's in the red cap behind his stablemate, Admire. He's not able to catch this horse, and a lot of people were talking about this, showing concern that he couldn't get to Admire.
Well, I have to be honest. It makes me take a little bit of pause, but they did go very fast. Now, I will say this, Tammy Fox aboard. She's very light. Normally, you would expect her to catch this horse. I'm going to try not to read too much into it because I do think this is a seriously good horse.
And I also wonder if a lot of times people are just so putting it on such a microscope. As far as I'm concerned, this is a horse who the 2 times he's had a chance in a race, he's run fabulous races. These are the kind of horses we want in the game. We want good, talented horses. He may turn out to be a bust for all we know, but there's a good chance he's
when you're this talented, look, it's good news for Dale Romans because he has the horse who has the talent, but when you have that talent, you go under the microscope.
Yeah. Right. Better to be in the situation where you have short-priced horses in big races and you're on the microscope. On the other hand, it's nice to be a little bit under the radar sometimes, but better to have a horse like Dennis's Boat.
Grade 2, Fountain of Youth coming up. 50 points to the winner of this race to get into that starting gate for the Kentucky Derby and Lafitte. All eyes on Dennis.
Yeah, he has become very polarizing. I don't quite understand why either. I am a believer. He'll be breaking from post position number 5 this afternoon. This is where the Fountain of Youth is going to start, guys. This is where the gate will be eventually at just after 6 o'clock. Now, I want you to pay attention to the proximity of where the gate will be in the first turn. These horses are breaking right on top of the turn, and it isn't some wide sweeping Belmont turn. It's a sharper turn here at Gulfstream Park. In the end, big advantage, horses drawn inside. Big disadvantage, horses drawn to the outside. Ground loss is a major, major concern. So much so that trainer Saffy Joseph scratched Chancet, the second choice on the morning line for this Fountain of Youth, because he was going to have to break from post position number 11. We'll see him next week in the Tampa Bay Derby. So now, drawn furthest to the outside at Indienne. Post position number 10, jockey Florent Giroux had a chance to sit down with Florent and ask him just how difficult of an assignment this really is.
It's not the best, to be honest, but it can be done. I've done it, in the Pegasus with Gunrunner. Hopefully, this horse can break, just as sharp as him. And from there, I'm going to ask my horse living there for sure, and hopefully, I can come into the turn, not too wide,
So in a perfect world, where would you like to be situated banking the first turn?
Why not on the lead, Do you
think he's quick enough to outbreak him?
Why not? I think so. You don't know how those horses, inside are going to break. I don't know how my horse is going to break. It's all a little bit of luck, good timing with horses leaving the gate. But no, I can see myself on the lead. Why not? If not, a nice cozy spot on the outside, maybe second or third. But I don't see myself, being way back, unless the horse, just doesn't break at all.
Thanks for the time, Flo. Good luck.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks.
Yeah, it's going to be tough at Indienne. Again, that big advantage for the horses drawn to the inside. Guys, something else to watch for, how the jockeys ride this mile and a 16th oval here at Gulfstream Park. You're going to see riders going a lot sooner, pulling the trigger much sooner. You're going to be saying, where's the fire? Where's everyone going? That's when jockeys need to move, when the field is moving into the far turn. Otherwise, if they wait too late, guys, they're going to leave their horses too much to do in the stretch and leave precious Kentucky Derby points on the racetrack.
Lafitte, thank you. So short run into that first turn. It's a short stretch as well. And as Lafitte said, becomes a bit of more so than usual, really, of a rider's race. If you're a jockey in this position, you're Florent Giroux, first time on this horse as well. He's filling in for an injured Luca Panici. Difficult position to be in.
Well, it is, but I like his mindset. He's going to be aggressive. It's obvious he's going to be aggressive. He's going to come out running. And that forces the inside speeds, if they want to go, and it creates separation, and that gives you an opportunity to tuck in. If they don't go, it gives you the opportunity to control the race. So I love his mindset going in, particularly from that post position. Being aggressive is the way to go.
And we saw this from him 2 weekends ago when we did those shows. We saw it in the division of the Risen Star. We saw it at Oaklawn Park in 2 races. He was assertive coming out of the start, and I agree, played a big role in his success.
Well, and the speed right next door to him, also without his regular pilot, because Luis Saez. He had some other things to tend to.
What a good day today.
In Riyadh, in the richest race run in the world, in the first ever Saudi Cup, $20 million on board, maximum security, and boy, did he run huge in this race.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the fractions if they ever posted them, but when you think that Midnight Bisou came from dead last, it's hard not to believe that they were moving up front. And maximum security has interfered with Richie, with Mucho Gusto, interfere with horses that weren't even in the race. I thought maximum security ran a sensational effort. He just keeps on coming.
Yeah, he wants it. He keeps fighting for it. Now, eventually he's going to get by Mucho Gusto there. And then I think he spots the filly coming up the inside, Midnight Bisou, and he kind of drops his head and goes on and finds more again. Just a terrific run from him. And, you know, he was herded and bothered several different times.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to say at this point, I don't want to talk about turf horses, I don't know in Europe, but for dirt horses, he's the best dirt horse in the world.
I think after this performance, there's no question that the resume he's put together, our 3-year-old champion, running now in the colors, by the way, of Coolmore America. But this performance, $10 million to the winner. So what do you think now is the short-term goals for him? Does he go to Dubai? Does he pass on Dubai and look at something like we talked about with Mr. Freeze, the Met Mile?
I think it's a good question. If he passes on Dubai, I'm sure he's pointing towards the Met Mile.
Right.
He could run in Dubai and still run the Met Mile, by the way, but I don't know. I mean, we'll find out, and I haven't heard anything.
But something else, though, for his connections, the size of that purse. They all had a very good year this day.
Amazing.
Unreal. Never thought we would see a purse like that. And there's another big one to come, but it dwarfs the purse of the Dubai World Cup.
I think this one's I heard this was 70% to the winner. I heard it's $14 million to the winner. I'm not sure, but I heard that.
Unreal. Dennis's moment, there he is. His 3-year-old debut is coming up. He's the most talked about 2-year-old in the country. Can he recapture that brilliant form that put him on the minds of everyone as a leading Derby contender? We're about to find out in the Fountain of Youth.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. New members earn up to a $200 deposit match with promo code Big A at NairaBets.com.
Smiling Tigers Championship sire performance continues. Each of his first 3 crops has produced a Horse of the Year, including California Horse of the Year Spiced Perfection and 2019 champion 2-year-old male El Tigre Terrible. 14 6-figure earners, including 7 with single-season earnings surpassing $100,000 in 2019. California's #1 second crop sire in 2018 and now #1 third crop sire of 2019. Smiling Tiger, standing at Harris Farms. Visit SmilingTigerStallion.com for more information. It pays to be Cal-bred.
Future Stars Friday, day 1 of Breeders' Cup competition. Dennis's Moment is the odds-on favorite for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
They're off, and Dennis's Moment stumbled badly and is last.
A championship was earned that afternoon, not by the colt most expected.
Storm the court, pulls it off.
Nearly 4 months have passed, and Dennis's Moment hasn't raced since. That's about to change. Will Dennis break clean today? Will he bring his A game?
Dennis's Moment kicks off the road to the Kentucky Derby in a big way.
The competition upset-minded 3-year-olds, including the wire-to-wire prestigious Remsen winner.
And Shotsky has won the Remsen.
And the colt bred for grass, thriving on dirt.
A 14-1 surprise, Ete Indion.
The Fountain of Youth is next.
It is our main event coming up, the Grade 2 Fountain of Youth here on America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports 2. 50 points to the winner to get into the starting gate for the Kentucky Derby, and that is essentially a guaranteed berth for for that first Saturday in May. It is the return of Dennis's Moment, his 3-year-old debut. Half of his starts, things have gone wrong. The other half, he has been brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, this is really a big test, and we'll find out if he's turned the corner.
Here comes our post parade. We start with Long Shot Candy Tycoon. Speed from the inside for trainer Todd Pletcher, 24-1 with Manny Franco in the irons. The 2 is scratched. We will see Master Day next. Master Day has had 3 career starts, had a maiden win first time out. I'm going to see him here eventually. He's up at 99-1 at least on the board.
Of course, Manny Franco, the regular rider, maybe the top Derby contender at this point, 'tis the law.
Impressive winner of the Holy Bull.
If we spend this long on each horse in the post parade, we're going to outrun the race. He's really the only one that matters, you know.
Trust me, he's not the star of the show. We're waiting to see Dennis here in a moment. Here's Master Day by the same sire of the horse who's produced Maximum Security, of course, New Year's Day. Here's the Falcon, 97-1 for Anthony Quartarolo. Still a maiden here in start number 3 coming up. The horse of the hour, the horse of the moment. Dennis's Moment at 6-5.
And this is just exciting. You want to see these big races and big horses like him get started.
Absolutely.
As seen on TV, he threw down in a brilliant stretch duel with Chancet, who scratched out of this race because of post position.
Well, and I would expect him to be the speed of the speed. He gets an aggressive rider, and he's fast.
Chad Brown sends out Country Grammar.
He'll need a fast pace, and he's a little interesting. He's overbet right now.
37-1 on Gear Jockey. He was 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. Still a maiden as well as we look at Liam's Lucky Charm for Ralph Nix coming out of the Grade 2 Risen Star. He's beat by Modernist.
Supposed to be a little bit aggressive with him, aren't they?
Speed with Shotsky and John Velasquez taking over for Saez, who of course is in Riyadh.
And I spoke with Johnny earlier. He said he's going to come out running to make sure that the other speeds commit. He expects to be laying 3rd or 4th.
And the other speed, Ete Indian, with a new rider as well, Florent Giroux taking over for the injured Luca Panici.
He ran extremely well last time, and this is a good rider change, to be fair to Luca, and just drew very badly in here.
It will be fascinating to watch who vies for the front here with that short run to that first turn. But this is the one everybody is trying to beat. Will Dennis's Moment that we saw as a 2-year-old show up in his 3-year-old debut? We're about to find out.
Warfront. This son of Danzig ranks among the world's elite sires, with Grade 1 winners on dirt and turf, and star performers both at home and abroad. Warfront's success as an international super sire is unmatched. Recent Grade 1 winners include Omaha Beach and Preakness Stakes hero War of Will. In the auction ring, Warfront was the #1 sire by highest average at Keeneland September, with yearlings commanding prices up to $2.9 million. Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than America'sBestRacing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. America's Best Racing is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
All of them have pretty good minds. We're all pretty happy with their minds and how they react to things and how smart they are and pick up what we want them to do very well and very quickly. And, you know, most of them have very good temperaments like he did, and, you know, most of them are showing some speed, so we're pretty happy with the way they all are.
Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
You're watching America's Day at the Races. Welcome back. We're getting ready for the Fasig-Tipton Fountain of Youth, and I'm joined by some special guests, the connections of Dennis's Moment, particularly the horse is named after Dennis Alba. His wife Susan joining me, and Jason Luch, racing manager. And Dennis, we'll start with you. Obviously a horse that's your namesake. What has this journey been like for Dennis's moment?
You know, he's been a little bit of a rocking horse on the way up and down. We've had some good races, excellent races, and then some of them that we want to just wipe off and not talk about. But the horse is training great, and I think he's ready to go, and we're very excited. Couldn't be happier. His 87 days were probably the longest 87 days of my life.
Now, Jason, I believe it was you that ended up picking out the name. What was it that you saw about this horse early on?
Barry Bricklerheimer, who trains our horses, said that he thought this was going to be one special horse, and I just thought it'd be so cool if we could name a horse after Dennis for all the things that he's given our family and has done for the game. So it was great, and I'm so happy and enjoying this moment because it's so much fun.
And it really is a special moment. Susan, which one of these two do you think is going to be most excited today?
Oh, I couldn't say. They're both always excited.
Well, thank you all so much. Best of luck today with Dennis's moment. Thanks.
Great question. Pretty girl.
Thank you.
There he is. We are 9 weeks to the Kentucky Derby. This is his 3-year-old debut. And look, we've talked about some other horses making rider changes in here as well. This horse is also Flavian Pratt aboard for the first time.
Of course, Irad is riding,
right.
Rode in Saudi Arabia. I'm not concerned about that. I'm more concerned on whether or not this horse has taken a step forward from his 2-year-old to 3-year-old season, Richie.
And that's the question that all of these horses making their 3-year-old debuts have to answer. Horses change a great deal from the fall of their 2-year-old year through the summer as 3-year-olds. So we've got to see if he made that step. He's certainly training well.
I loved, by the way, the emotion from the owners. You could feel how excited and nervous they were, and I thought that was just really great.
6-5 on Dennis's moment as we go to Lafitte and Acacia.
Yeah, guys, big moment for Dennis Alba. You can feel the excitement here at Gulfstream Park, moments away from the Fountain of Youth. You touched on Flavian Pratt. Win, lose, or draw, Dennis's moment will have a new jockey for his next race. Pratt's going to be in Dubai, Acacia. So, again, we've talked about how polarizing Dennis's moment has become. It's people expecting big things, others aren't sold. What's the word been here in South Florida in terms of how he's been training?
He's been training solidly. He's been stabled here at Gulfstream for a while. However, I have seen, and I've been reading Clocker reports, that the works have not been as sharp as they were prior to the Breeders' Cup. Now, there could be a couple of reasons for that. It could be that he's maybe evened out a little bit. It could be that he's matured. Maybe he's just not as run away from everybody in the morning as he has been.
Florida bred as seen on TV. If you like Chance It going in, you'd have to like him, wouldn't you? What are you expecting from the Florida bred?
I agree. I saw him last time for the first time, and he proved to me not only with how he raced, but also physically, he can handle the distance.
We heard from Bonjour earlier, riding Ete Indienne, breaking right behind us to the extreme outside. It's a Herculean task. Do you think he's good enough to pull this off from that outside post, Ete Indienne?
I'll be honest, I don't know. We're going to find out today. And I saw Flo aboard him at Palm Meadows the other day. He shipped in to work this horse once before the race, and he was very much on his toes, keyed up just like he is today. I could see a scenario where they are going to have to try to send very hard from the outside and get over.
Filing into the gate, all of them minding their manners. Shotsky quickly, Acacia, your thoughts on him going in?
I like him. My only question is he at the level of some of these horses in here? We're going to find out today how he stacks up, but his Remsen was very well done.
John Velasquez, the all-time leading Fountain of Youth winning jockey. He's won 5, looking for a 6th with Shotsky. It is post time, 6-5, says the tote board on Dennis's moment. All set. Pete Ayala with the call of the Fountain of Youth live from Gulfstream.
To the outside. There in the gate. And they're off in the Fasig-Tipton Fountain of Youth. Dennis's moment broke pretty well today, but on the far outside, there goes Ete Indian from the 11 post to the rail. He was quick out of there and crossed over from the high draw. Moving to take second is Geared Jockey, as seen on TV, is an early third, with Liam's Lucky Charm away in fourth. Down inside, it's Master Day. Then it's the favorite Dennis's moment. He's in the blue colors, about 5 lengths off the lead. Moving on his outside, that's Shotsky. He was 4 wide on that first turn run. Saving ground is Candy Tycoon third last, and the 2 at the back are the Falcon and Country Grammar. They complete the opening quarter and head into the backstretch. Ete Indian and Florent Giroux on top by a length. Second to Gear Jockey, as seen on TV, is together with Liam's Lucky Charm. They're third and fourth. Up on the outside, Shotsky is now fifth. In between horses, Dennis's Moment is sixth. Master Day seventh toward the inside. Candy Tycoon is eighth. It's a gap of four. Ninth is Country Grammar. And 10th and last is the Falcon. They make their way to the half-mile grounds. They do go to the first finish line here with Ete Indian in front from the outset, leads a half a length. Liam's Lucky Charm moves three wide. Gear Jockey's in the two-path. As seen on TV, gets the hurry up to keep up with these top horses. A length and a half better than Shotsky. Down at the inside in Master Day. Then on the outside to Candy Tycoon. Dennis's Moment is not picking up his feet at all. Dennis's Moment is backpedaling. He's now back second last. The Falcon is last with less than a quarter of a mile to go. Ete Indian with enterprising tactics from the outset, and he's still well clear. Ete Indian and Florent Giroux into the short stretch on top. Long shot Master Day cuts the corner to try to get a slice. Shotsky down the center with As Seen on TV. Inside the final 16th of the phasing Tipton Fountain of Youth, and it's all about Biancone. It's all about Ete Indian, who wins stylishly by 6 or 7. There's 4 across the course for second. Candy Tycoon probably got second. Got close after that in the 14th.
Florent Giroux filling in for the injured Luca Panici. Aggressive early, got to the front, gets the win, and not today for Dennis's Moment.
I mean, he embarrassed everybody in here. He cleared with this horse as fast as you could. Tremendous ride, and this horse was a dominant winner.
Phenomenal job by him. He broke running, cleared, and then got the horse to switch back off. This was a tremendous ride and tremendous effort by this horse to be able to turn it on and off. Showed a lot of quality in that respect.
Boy, is Patrick Biancone back in a big way, Greg.
Sol Volante as well won the Sam F. Davis. Now Ete Indian for Biancone. He's got a couple of Derby contenders. The 1, the 10, the 11, maybe even the 6, the speedsters in here, but it was Florent Giroux, outside post, who was aggressive early. Talked about that short run to the first turn, Mig, who got the job done and got to the front.
Broke running, but you can see the intent was there from the moment he left the starting gate. There wasn't no looking around about it. He threw down the gauntlet. This is what I'm doing. You guys do what you want, but this is what I'm doing. And aggression wins races. If it didn't work out, I would have still said it was a terrific ride because he grabbed the bull by the horns.
I agree. He dictated how the race was going to be run, and you can't ask anything more there. Now, he ran a fabulous race, but who knows what he would have done if he had rated him and he got caught wide in the first turn. Maybe he gets discouraged, and we see a different race. Candy Tycoon, the long shot, gets second. I think Country Grammar was third, but it was a joke. This horse buried the field.
How much does that win flatter Tis the Law as well?
It certainly doesn't make him look bad, I'll tell you that. It's a very good point. And Dennis's Moment, maybe he wasn't comfortable taking kickback or being between horses, but
he did not run.
What a disappointing effort.
Disappointing. Yeah, with the exception, look, of not breaking, that's the furthest we've ever seen him back in a race.
Yes, yeah, but I mean, he never looked like he was traveling at all with any sort of energy. He just did not run well at all. Now, we talked about not making the jump from 2 to 3. I don't think this answers that question. I just don't think he ran well.
He didn't run. Now, whether or not he can bounce back, I don't think we'll see him at Gulfstream again, I'll tell you that.
Spring fever and break even in one of the first 6 starts of her career. Back in action, making her 4-year-old debut from post 3 for Brad Cox. Vic Stauffer with the call.
They're off. Break even at Midnight Fantasy, a hard send Mount Brave, Artistic Diva at the rail. Amy's Challenge away in 5th, and the early trailer is What a Fox, break even. Narrowly in front, 2 inside of her to challenge, Mount Brave and Artistic Diva, these 3 across the track. Midnight Fantasy races 4th and a length and a half from the front. Defending champion, Amy's Challenge from off the pace today. She's 5th and 2.5 off the lead and 6 back to What a Fox. They round the far turn in the 32nd Spring Fever, Mount Brave, Break Even, and Artistic Diva. These 3 right across the racetrack. Midnight Fantasy within a length and a quarter of the lead. Then comes Amy's Challenge, top of the stretch. Mount Brave has a short lead. Midnight Fantasy is running a very big race. Break Even is gone. Break Even backs out of it. Amy's Challenge third. Midnight Fantasy sweeps to the lead. She's a length and a half in front of Amy's Challenge, trying to run after her. Midnight Fantasy reaches. Amy's Challenge attacks. Midnight Fantasy. Amy's Challenge, Midnight Fantasy. The 32nd Spring Fever goes to Midnight Fantasy over a fast-closing Amy's Challenge. What a Fox, third, Mount Brave, 4th.
Midnight Fantasy with the win, and now Break Even after 6 consecutive victories to start her career, has lost back-to-back starts.
Well, she ran so badly and maybe something happened, but let me say something. she's always been in front in the races and has blinding speed. They rated her today. It didn't work out. Sort of an interesting contrast to the Fountain of Youth, Richie.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking off camera just about Florent Geroux and just how aggression wins races. You dictate the flow of the race. And the fact that he came in and worked that horse kind of probably gave him the confidence that he could turn him on and that he would come back to him and not run away with him because he switched off again.
It's an interesting hand for Patrick Biancone, and you had mentioned Sol Volante. They're both speed-type horses, right? So what do you do with two horses with the same running style? It's still not a bad hand to have for Patrick Biancone.
So Ete Indien, winner of the Grade 2 Fountain of Youth. Meanwhile, for Dennis's Moments, let's go to Lafitte for more.
Very disappointing finish for Dennis's Moment, the favorite in the Fountain of Youth, running last this afternoon. Flavian, what do you think went wrong today?
He bobbled out of the gate, kind of like he did in the Breeders' Cup. But then after that, I thought I was in a good spot. He was moving well, and as soon as I hit the 5/8 pole, he just dropped the bit, and then no horse at all. It seems like he grabbed himself, so maybe he just protect himself.
Thanks for the time, Flavian.
Thank you.
Disappointing effort from the heavy favorite in this Fountain of Youth, Flavian Prat. Again, either way, he was not going to ride him in his next race, but looking to take down this Fountain of Youth. And not only Dennis's Moment not winning, but just never picking it up and not firing whatsoever.
So Dennis's Moments, it's back to the drawing board. And look, again, off this performance, it looked like he really, I mean, Flavian Prat said he was running a little bit and then just dropped the bit. But when it counted, he didn't pick up his feet.
Well, but 5/8 out is an awful long way out to drop the bit. He did say something, though, that he grabbed his quarter. So for people that don't know, that's when a horse steps on the back part of their heel, and they basically slice their heel. So we don't have any way of qualifying how much that affected him from a mental standpoint, if he was in pain, if it hurt him. So he did step on himself. And, again, showing that awkwardness leaving the starting gate is something that they've got to figure out and help him. And I'm not saying that's the reason why he ran so poorly, but that is something.
There's still time.
There's
for
still
him to get to the Derby.
And I've been a big fan of this horse, but you have to be very concerned at this point where he really stands. I misspoke, by the way. It's a perfect compliment for Patrick Biancone. Sol Volante's a deep closer, and this horse is a speed, so it's a very good compliment and a very good pair for him.
Meanwhile, back at Oaklawn, the race we just showed you, not today for break even. 4-year-old debut suffers the second defeat of her career. It's Midnight Fantasy, $19.40. Joe Sharp having a nice afternoon. 5 wins now from 12 career starts with a victory in that Spring Fever.
Yeah, and she ran well, but a disappointing effort by break even.
Yeah, and she almost looked like she kind of lost her action a bit through the lane. I'd be interested to see what they say, how she comes out of the race.
I agree.
Well, I think with this performance, first of all, we saw a huge effort here from Ete Indien. This was big, but great tactics. What a ride from Florent Geroux. But maybe the biggest beneficiary, we might have a leading contender now, and 'tis the law.
I agree, and I tell you what, if somebody had said that Florent Geroux was going to be the go-to speed rider to me a year or two ago, I'd have laughed at them.
Let's go to Acacia Courtney.
I'm here with the man that did it, Florent Geroux. Tell me what your thought process was coming out of the gate. You managed to get Ete Indien over from that outside post.
Yeah, great. The horse did actually. He broke super short, and from there, I hustled him a little bit to get closer to the rail that I could. And the horse, just responded very well. When he broke, looked like he shot, very, very athletically, from the gate. And from there, when I got on the lead, I was just trying to nurse him around, make sure he was taking a nice and easy breather. And turning for home, I give him 2 stars, but I look at the TV and he was long gone.
He ran a huge race today. Congratulations, Florent. What were you feeling underneath of you coming down to the wire?
Oh, great. A good feeling. Actually, he was looking at the light. I was trying to keep him focused. He was kind of like zigzagging a little bit the last 16 of a mile, but no, he got the job done today, and it's great. Look like he's going to be in a Derby. Hopefully, Patrick and his team, keeping healthy, and hopefully we have a fair chance, for the first Saturday of May.
Florent, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you, Acacia.
Huge performance from Ete Indien today, Greg.
No question. I mean, he was just much the best in this group. And again, it's jockey tactics make a big difference early on in this race. We talked about you don't want to be outside in this kind of race. It had been 25 years, only 2 horses had won from post 10 through 12 in this race. Promises fulfilled, 2018, Quality Road 09. Now, Ete Indian adds his name to that list.
And I could be wrong, but I think when Quality Road won this, it was a one-turn mile.
I think you're right, actually.
And, you know, the one horse I remember in the Florida Derby that won from post 12 was Big Brown.
Upcoming Derby preps, we will have the Gotham Tampa Bay Derby and San Felipe all coming up for you on March the 7th. It is going to be a huge day on the road to the Kentucky Derby. Tonalist Shape booked her ticket to the Kentucky Oaks. She is a perfect 5 for 5. Saffy Joseph Jr. has a very talented 3-year-old filly. Patrick Biancone, he has a couple of horses who could book their trip to that first Saturday in May. Sol Volante, now Ete Indian is on to Kentucky.